going on, NFL world? How you doing, Cerebral football fans? What's going on, Philadelphia Eagles world? Hey, man, I didn't have time to do a video today, guys, so I figured I'd just come live and I talk to you guys a little bit about the safety position. Just some kind of thoughts I had on my mind, some things I've been researching, and kind of like what I think about the situation right now. So, real quick, guys, if you enjoyed today's discussion, this is maybe the first, second, third time you caught my content. If I can ask you to do me a huge favor here, guys, hit that subscribe button. I would love to add you to the community. We just crossed over 5,000. We're heading towards 10,000. Hey, would love for you to be part of that equation, guys. Just need you to subscribe to do that. It's my OG subscribers here. No one asked y'all to do, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Smash that like button. Help me spike the algorithm and get this in front of new people that we could potentially convert into our own little community here. All right, y'all. Safety. The safety position. Hey, I got to be honest. This is the position group that could either be way better than what anyone anticipates, or it could be our Achilles heel. It's so hard to tell right now. This is such a difficult evaluation to make, if I'm being quite honest, guys. And the reason being is that we got a guy that we knew we were going to move on from. Like, one of my favorite guys, Roddy McLeod, he's a legend with the Battlebirds podcast because I mispronounced his name like the first 10 times I said it. I was calling him McLeod, if you guys remember that. But, McLeod was such a great coverage safety. I mean, even last year with coming back from a busted up knee, being over 30 years old. Hey, man, there's not a lot of dudes that can recover from that. And Rodney McLeod still ranked 10th in coverage if you looked at passer rating. Now, if you looked at grades are subjective. They can be all over the place. But when you looked at passer rating against him, he had the 10th lowest. It was hard to move the ball against Rodney McLeod. When you subtract Rodney McLeod from this particular safety group, we do have to rely on quite a bit of, unknown here. And I'm not even talking about the Reed Blankenships, who, yeah, I love his film, guys, but I know nothing about this dude at the NFL level yet. We have to see him play against pretty good competition, right? I mean, we know that the team he played on, they had a really good defense, to be quite honest. When you went and you watched their film, it was like, oh, wow, Middle Tennessee State actually got a pretty good defense here. But, it's Middle Tennessee State, guys. It's going to be a big jump from the NFL. I hope the young man makes it. But that's not even who I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, guys, is, the Kayvon Wallaces and the Marcus Epps. Those are the young guys, right? Kayvon Wallace, former fourth-round pick going back to 2020. Had some injury concerns, guys. I mean, we have struggled to keep Kayvon Wallace on the field. A lot of us really liked his film coming out of college. We thought that, hey, man, he's a little limited athletically. He's not the greatest of athletes that I personally watched film on at the safety position, but he was instinctual. He played fearlessly, and he showed some ability to play in the box and over the top. Now, I will admit, right from the jump, guys, I really anticipated Kayvon Wallace to play a little bit more in the box than as a post safety, which he's kind of primarily done with the Eagles, which is a little surprising to me. But, what can you do? What can you do here? Marcus Epps, undrafted rookie free agent. By the way, Anthony Harris, undrafted rookie free agent. I might be miscalculating Marcus Epps. I think Marcus Epps actually was a late pick of the Vikings. Undrafted rookie free agent, late pick. He's somewhere in that category, guys. I don't have it right in front of me. A lot to prove here, man. A lot to prove here. And I think really the player that this all comes down to, we're talking about potential. And we're talking about what this group could be. We're talking about if this defense is just going to be next level, something we haven't seen since Jim Johnson was here. Marcus Epps has to be that dude, in my opinion. Marcus Epps has got to be the dude. So, I want to bring up a few stats, a few things that I looked at. And I want to talk about Marcus Epps for a second. To begin with, in terms of run defense, and I know I just said, look, when you look at grades are subjective. But what they are is it's an impartial look, right? It's not me telling you this. It's a group of guys who got together, graded out these safeties, and said, this dude's playing pretty well. We look at run defense from safeties. This is probably not something we all think about with Marcus Epps. Marcus Epps, believe it or not, guys, he was the second highest graded safety in run defense. Here's how the top 12 ranked out, guys. Number 1 was Jimmy Ward. Number 2 was Marcus Epps. Number 3 was Antoine Winfield. Number 4 was Xavier Woods. Number 5 was Jordan Fuller. 6 was Minka Fitzpatrick. 7 was Kevin Byard from Tennessee. He's a really good player, by the way. Number 8 was Landon Collins. Number 9 was Julian Blackman. Number 10 was Jordan Whitehead. 11 was Malik Hooker. 12 was Ronnie Harrison. And I'll give you 13 just because it's a big name Jamal Adams was the 13th ranked player. He graded out an 88.9 in run defense. I mean, Marcus Epps has showed something. I mean, there is something there. But it's just hard to predict, right? Because on one hand, we can say everything that the Eagles do seems to indicate that they have some sort of faith, some sort of trust that Marcus Epps is going to translate. But on the other hand, it's like, it's not like they didn't try, though. You get what I mean, guys? Like, it's not like they didn't try. They definitely went down the avenue trying to get Marcus Williams here, who's a post safety. You could say, like, yeah, I mean, they could still sign those dudes and still play Marcus Epps. Maybe Anthony Harris would have been the casualty of such a move. And I think that is very well possible. But, man, we're putting a lot on the plate of Marcus Epps, guys. And I'll be the first one to admit, this young man has already exceeded my expectations. Because when he got here in 2019, if you guys remember, we had Andrew, Sendejo, who was formerly with the Minnesota Vikings. He was kind of playing that third safety role for us. And, man, he had a couple of rough games in a row, and they let him go. They let him go. He didn't seem to be a really good fit for Jim Schwartz's scheme. And then they actually almost exchanged players. Like, we released Andrew Sendejo, who basically claimed or signed by the Vikings. And then in return, the Vikings they ended up releasing Marcus Epps. And then we claimed him and brought him here to Philly or signed him. So, I mean, from where he started in 2019, which I thought 2019, 2020, I was not in love with this film, guys. I'll be honest. I struggled to believe that he was going to translate. But what I saw last year showed a young man who had clearly made progress. I mean, he had been moving in a forward direction. This was a young man that looked like, hey, man, over the last 2 or 3 years, this guy's getting it. He's playing with a lot of instinct now. Like, he's really understanding concepts here. And he's shooting and he's getting in front of these players and he's making big plays, hits, interceptions, things like that. I mean, I'm hoping that we can see a continuation of that because a lot of what we're going to do this season, I think, really depends upon Marcus Epps kind of being that guy, if I'm being honest. Now, I think a conversation we get into tonight is the Eagles clearly aren't done. I mean, we got OTAs. I don't know that you can learn too much from OTAs, guys, if I'm being honest. I don't know that you can learn that much. Install, of course. The players are learning the install. They're learning a few things. But in saying that, I can't sit there and say that you look at this and you say, oh, this is their opportunity, right? This is the young guy's opportunity. I think if that's the case, then the opportunity has to come in camp because I just don't know that you can learn enough information from OTAs. I mean, I guess if a guy is completely lost in the install and has no clue how to play the responsibility, that's a dead giveaway. But I don't anticipate that being the issue with guys like, Anthony Harris and guys like Marcus Epps. I mean, maybe if you had a situation to where, Kayvon Wallace was going to be a much larger part of the, the defense, I could maybe understand if he just quite wasn't getting it and OTAs gave you a big enough tip that you're going to have to bring somebody in. I just don't know that narrative fits with Anthony Harris and with Marcus Epps. I think they're going to have to wait until camp to see how comfortable they are with guys and then make that decision. What do you do? What do you do once you get past camp and stuff, man? We'll have to see. It's really difficult to say, guys. I mean, I'm hoping for the best because I think this young guy can play, man. I really do. Philly Fan D, what's good, buddy? How you doing, man? I'm doing well, bro. Anthony, how are you, man? I'm doing well, guys. I'm doing well. What's up, Preach Facts TV? How you doing, buddy? Y'all like the pillow? Hey, got to have something to represent the brand behind me. And it's got to fit on the shelf. Randall, the handle said, Gate City Sports, you hear the rumors of Isaac Seumalo for Robert Quinn for the Bears. Love you, bro, and keep up the great work. I haven't heard it personally. I haven't heard anything that's definitive. Quinn's an excellent pass rusher. He is. He's got a big contract, though, if I'm being honest. He's got like a little over 12 million. It's almost 13 million to be real. So I guess saying a little over 12 million is not that accurate of a statement. He's just under $13 million in base salary. We'd have to eat some of that base salary. Then he's got like I think he's got like $100,000 like workout bonus. He's got some type of bonus like that we would have to pick up. So, I mean, to make that acquisition, you got to make sure you got enough space there. Of course, moving Isaac Seumalo would help. I mean, that would definitely help, Randall. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could definitely fit in there. I think the bigger issue is what you do with 2023's cap because I think you could do plenty enough to move around 2022's cap to get him under contract. I don't think that's your concern. But we're already in the red for 2023. So you got to figure out, with adding not only his contract in 22, how do you structure the, obviously you would trade and extend him if you got him here. So you'd have to figure out a way of working his money to limit the impact it has on 23, because 23's cap's a little up against the wall right now. We'll figure it out. Don't get me wrong, how he's going to figure it out. But, you do got to figure something out, guys. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Big Play Slade, what's good, bro? I'm doing well, guys. I'm doing well, man. Philly fan D, y'all funny, man. He said, got you, because I like the pillow. Let me bring it down for y'all, man. Hang on. Give me a second, guys. I'll bring it down for y'all. So I designed a t-shirt like this too. But, it's got the fog ball at the top, Fly Eagles Fly, Reggie White, the Minister of Defense. A couple guys in here, Jaws. I don't know if you can see all of them. Sorry, guys. I keep forgetting which way you spin it here. It's got my guy McNabb, got my guy Cunningham, Cerebral NFL fam on there, the Body Bag Game. Got Brian Dawkins, Weapon X. Man, let me see the other corner here if I get it there. I think the other one's Concrete Charlie. And then Miracle at the Meadowlands, Deshaun Jackson. So it's got a little bit of Philadelphia cult stuff on it. Kind of the important stuff and the things that what only Eagle fans would kind of get. My guy Preach Facts TV said, Epps is explosive. Is he a strong safety? It's an excellent question, Preach. I really, hard to say. I saw him play around the box a few times. I thought he played pretty well in the box, to be quite honest. I don't know that I would say that he's a full-time safety, though. I think he's one of those guys that if you truly take Gannon at face value, where he says he wants to take both his safeties and be able to play them as post safeties if need be, bring one down into the box and be able to mix up who he's bringing into the box, rocking. They call rocking your safeties down into the box, being able to be multiple and use both guys to do that. And he's also, he wants that ability to not have to be alignment, to say this guy is purely a post. This guy is purely a strong. If that's the case, box versus post, strong versus, free, for the other ways of terming that, guys. If that's the case, then I think Marcus Epps is the exact type of safety you're looking for. He's a guy that gives you that kind of versatility where you can pretty much play whatever role you want to play with, said player. What's up, Kurt? How you doing, buddy? Says, yo, coach, what's good? You watching from China? What's good, man? That's cool, bro. That's cool, man. What's up, Vincent? How you doing, buddy? Says you're the best of these YouTube sports guys. I appreciate it, man. I got a lot of good company, man. I got a lot of good company. Some of these guys I've known for a very long time. Some of y'all know, man. Some of y'all have been rocking with me for a while. Matter of fact, here we go. Here we go. Here's my guy right here, Philly Mike. Mike and I have known each other since Mike found me when I was under 100 subscribers. I think Mike was just over 200 or just about to get to 200 subscribers when we first started, kind of talking and became friends. So, I mean, hey, man, I love a lot of these dudes, man. A lot of these guys are like my brothers. Tyrone Jackson, no one is talking about him taking the next step. What's up, Vince? Tyrone Jackson. The young man has I made a video the other day where I was talking about arm reach and kind of how the scouting world views edge rushers and defensive ends in particular, guys with their hands in the dirt. He is one of the two guys we have on roster currently that is over a 33-inch arm reach, which is what they consider the prototypical edge rusher, pass rusher, hands in the dirt, 5-tech kind of defensive end. It's really only him, and then it's, Josh Sweat. All the other guys are very fast, really good release off the line of scrimmage, but all of them are under 33-inch arm reach. It's just kind of an interesting note that Tyrone Jackson is only one of two guys that's built like that. It probably really depends upon the concepts at which they view the defensive line, how they want to play the front. So they want to be a 30 front, 40 front, 50 front. We kind of get the feeling they're going to play a little bit of everything, but what's the primary, right? What's the one by a percentage will be the most used? Appreciate you, Preach. He says he's the best for the cerebral sports fan, not the ESPN junkies. What's good, Mike? How you doing, buddy? I'm sorry, Mike. If I knew you was hanging out, bro, I would have shot you a link, man. Reggie, yeah, Reggie White, bro. Reggie's my guy, man. I remember being upset. I was a kid, Preach. I was really young. I was really young when we lost Reggie to free agency. I was probably 11, 12-ish, somewhere in that area. Somewhere around that, like middle school age when Reggie left during free agency. I was like that kind of age group, man. I remember being real upset, man. What's good, 2020? How you doing, man? Jeremiah, what's good, man? What's up, Daryl? How you doing, bro? He said, like up the video then. Everybody's saying they like the channel but can't like the video. Come on now. Appreciate you, man. Tyree Jackson. What's up, Jeremiah? Tyree Jackson. So you're talking tight end. Man, physically gifted. 6'6", 6'7", 250-ish. Crazy long, arm reach, crazy long wingspan for a tight end. A guy that was a former quarterback. He did better than I anticipated, Jeremiah, to be honest with you, last season. I thought that there was some underlying ability there. I didn't think that it would emerge or become as apparent as quickly as it did. It's unfortunate the timing of the injury, because I think he would probably be pretty close to a lock to make the roster if he was healthy. But because of that injury, now you're allowing guys to potentially get onto the roster. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what the Eagles do. They could potentially, they could IR him. They could give him a short-term IR designation. They could put him on the PUP list, physically unable to perform. We'll see kind of what they do, guys. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, because I really don't know when he'll be ready to actually compete. Hassan Riddick is a starter at linebacker. Who are the other two starters? I say White and Dean. That's a great question, Preach. I mean, I see Kaiser White potentially being that starting will linebacker. Nakobe Dean and TJ Edwards is going to be a very fascinating conversation once we get to camp. I think it's very possible that TJ Edwards starts off as the starting Mike in our system, but I do think that we all realize it's only a matter of time before Nakobe catches up. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be really hard to keep Nakobe Dean off the field, to be quite honest. Kaiser White's still an interesting conversation, though, because Davion Taylor, another good player, right? I think we have four guys that can really play football. But I think what gets really interesting about the Kaiser White signing is that, people look at it, it's 1 year, $5 million, but it's the guaranteed money inside that $5 million that tells you the Eagles really like Kaiser White. But the problem is that Davion Taylor was a draftable asset. It's someone that the front office spent a draft pick on. You got him under contract theoretically this year and next year still. So that's a really interesting storyline, to be honest, Preach. I think that's going to be one of the real fascinating things to talk about when we get to training camp. I got a sneaking suspicion to be real careful about that wide receiver 3 position. I think it's Quez's. I do. But I know how this front office and stuff works sometimes. If Rager's still in this roster, guys, that concerns me. That concerns me about that wide receiver 3 position. So I'm hoping they don't do something stupid like try to split reps between Quez and Rager for wide receiver 3. I hope that they go with the smart thing to do, which is whoever earns that job in camp, whoever's clearly the better player, should get the majority of the reps and be your wide receiver 3. But what concerns me is when you go back and you look at Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen, as we learned yesterday, their offense, really the top 3 dudes are who get the targets, because they're going to target Dallas Goedert at least 80 targets in the year. Man, you get the wide receiver 4 and wide receiver 5, man, they had less than 30 targets between the two of them, to divide up. I mean, maybe with the expansion into 11-man personnel and playing more 11-man personnel, maybe that'll lead to more targets for the 4 and the 5. But it's a fascinating conversation when we talk about a few of these position groups, guys, to be honest. I do think linebacker, Preach, is one of the really, really interesting ones to talk about. What's good, B. Philly? How you doing, man? He said, what would Hurts have to do this season at the least to remain the Eagles starting quarterback? B. Philly, that's a tough question, man. Some of that has to come down to how the front office feels about the young man and what Nick Sirianni feels about the young man. I would say that if we just look at surface level stats, okay, because it's really difficult to have this conversation if we're talking about the really in-depth, detailed things that would have to occur. But if you're looking at surface level stuff, I think you got to be, at minimum, he needs to be above 3,500 yards passing, in my opinion. He's going to have to be in that area, right? Touchdown interception ratio needs to be 2-1. I think he needs to be over 20 touchdowns. I honestly think he's in for a big year. I think he's going to go past that 4,000-yard passing mark. I would say that, for me, I think anywhere between 3,800 to about 4,200 yards passing seems reasonable, especially when you have an extra game on the schedule on top of it. I think he's in for a big season, man. I just think when you look at having A.J. Brown, having, Devontae Smith, having Quez Watkins, having Dallas Goedert, having Kenneth Gainwell, who's a really good receiving back, I just think there's so many weapons on this team. I'm telling you, man, I think Jalen's going to have a big year. I know that not everybody shares that opinion with me, but I'm just being honest. I think that young man's going to have a pretty big year. Jeremiah said Hassan is probably going to play the 5 tech or 7 to 9 tech, not so much off the ball. It's hard to say. Like, I don't want to say what he will and won't do, Jeremiah, because I don't know until they get him in camp. You know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult to pick up on that information without being in camp to kind of see how they're playing. But I will say that it depends upon the alignment. I don't know that your best use for Hassan Riddick is his hands in the dirt. Now, he can, in theory, still play, I think, what you're alluding to, which is a defensive end. He can still, in theory, play a defensive end by standing up as a joker. Really not a huge difference between being a joker and then like what they call a rush linebackers. It's pretty similar concept. You're talking about being able to play in space as the fourth man on the line of scrimmage. You said you're not sold on Tyree Jackson. Well, I mean, I think he shined in ways that I didn't expect to see as fast as he did at Jeremiah. But, I mean, he hasn't had a ton of game experience. So, I mean, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to walk away from this thinking I think this guy's going to be like a perennial Pro Bowler one day. We don't know about that yet. I'm just saying that there are intriguing attributes to him. And I thought that he picked up on the position from a receiving standpoint way faster than I thought he would. He seemed to have pretty much gotten it pretty quickly. Vincent said, Coach, you will never get defense and rhythm if you keep changing looks. I know it's to keep the offense guessing, but you also hurt your defense. Yeah, I think when they talk about being multiple, Vincent, my interpretation of it is they'll have a base defense they play out of. I don't know if it'll be a 30 front. I don't know if it'll be a 40 front. I think you got the players to do either one. But I think when they talk about being multiple, I think that they're speaking to the third and long kind of pass rush situations, where they might mix it up to be a 30 front, a 40 front, or a 50 front, depending upon who they want to get on the field to rush the passer, basically. That's kind of what I took away from what he's saying. I do think that they'll have a base package. I just don't know. I don't know what it'll be, because I think that if you looked at last year, they played a lot of 50. They played a lot of 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Brought that Sam linebacker down, put him on the line of scrimmage. In theory, they could play a lot of 42 nickel. In theory, they could play a lot of 3-3-5 nickel, which is a 30 front. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 players in the secondary. So, I mean, hard to say. It's really difficult to say what they're going to do, because I think they have the personnel to play a lot of different things. It's just a matter of, like I said, Vincent, it's a matter of percentages. What percentage are we talking about, right? Because everybody has a base. What's up, Dante? How you doing, man? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up, but it's like skipping me up and down as I try to scroll and find your comments. I think Pascal is going to make things tough. Rager sucks. Dante said, what do you think about Milton in year 2 and Davis rookie year? I'm liking the direction they're going moving forward. See, Dante, that's a really good question, right? Because Milton Williams, I think, would be better in a one-gap system. And you can play one gap inside of a 30 front, a 3-4 front, basically, guys. When I say 30 front, we're talking about the amount of linemen down means 3 linemen down. You say 40 front, you're talking about 4 linemen down. 50 front means 5 linemen down. It's often achieved by bringing basically your Sam linebacker down on the line of scrimmage. Dante, I think he would fit in either a 40 front where you're gap or gap and a half, or inside of a 30 front like an eagle with an eagle alignment. Eagle means you got those 2 4-eye players and they're just one gapping. So Milton's an interesting case, guys. I mean, he could definitely be, if you talk about being in a 50 front, coming out of what's really the base of that 50 front for the Eagles, in my opinion, what I see them doing is they like to play a lot of under. So they'll take a 40 front and an under. So under just means is that your nose tackles to the strong side, your 3 technique is going to be to the weak side. When you're in the under, that's when you can walk that Sam linebacker down, kind of making you a quasi 50 front. If you put Milton Williams as your 3 technique on the weak side, because that 3 technique is really important on the weak side. If you ever listen to, if you go and you take some time, guys, and you listen to Seth Joyner talk, he really talks about communication between the 3 technique and the linebacker. Well, when you're in an under front, you have the will linebacker behind you is that 3 technique. You have to do your job, and you need to be accountable because that will linebacker has to scrape over top of the defense. He's got to find the hole and fill it. And if you don't keep him clean, if you allow a guy to climb up to him, you're going to get gashed in the running game all day long inside of that front. So, I mean, to me, I do think that Milton Williams could be really effective there. I think he could be that guy in the weak side of the offense or defense. So weak side of the offense, but basically in the underside. He could be that guy in that 3 technique alignment. I think he has the ability to do that. The smart business move is to split reps with Quez at wide receiver 3. That's my concern too. Yeah, see that exactly, Jeremiah. Like what is best for competition may not be best for the bottom dollar. That's my concern as well, Jeremiah, with that situation. Sorry, 2020, I'm trying to get to your question, man. Keep jumping on me. With good coverage, cornerbacks and linebackers, White and Dean, what's the percentage of the 5-man front do you envision? We made huge plays last season in the 5-man with Avery, praying for more of that. I think early down situations, I think you could see that a lot 2020. To be quite honest, I think you could see a lot of it early down. First down where you know that there's a high probability of a running play. Because, truth be told, you probably don't want – you probably want to limit the amount of times you have to play Hassan or Riddick, down – as a defensive end where he's got to run in a gap responsibility that involves an offensive lineman getting into his body. That's probably what you want to avoid from him. So I would imagine one of the ways you can counteract that is by playing, a 50 front, basically a 4-2 under where you walk the Sam down. And then you just tell Hassan Riddick, simply put, your main job here is you have containment. Nobody gets outside of you. You need to push the running play back inside. I think Hassan Riddick is plenty tough enough, plenty fast enough, plenty athletic enough. I think he can do it. I think that's a role for him that would be really easy for him to play, and that would make a ton of sense. So I can see that a lot in early downs. But I do think, to some of your guys' points, I think Vincent was talking about this. When you get to pass rush situations, and you're either in a 30 front or a 40 front, whatever they're going to run, guys, I have no clue. I think that's when you could see Hassan Riddick then be kind of lined up and be playing that role as the edge rusher, right? The third or fourth man on the fourth man, basically, no matter what you're playing there. He'll be the 4th man on the line of scrimmage, whether he's a rush linebacker technically or whether he's a joker defensive end. And those 3rd and longs, I think that's when you'll see more of that 30 or 40 front come into play. We have the personnel to be so versatile on both sides of the ball. Our special teams coordinator seems to be sold on Sippos, whatever his name is. Yeah, hard to say, Jeremiah. I don't know what he sees in him. I mean, early in the season, he did look, to be fair, early in the season, he did play well. But, man, when the weather got cold, he was just bad, man. He was so bad down the stretch. I don't want to bury the guy because he's still on the team, but it wasn't good, man. Hey, Steve, seems like you coach football. If so, what did you specialize in? Preach, believe it or not, I started off coaching special teams. So I was in the military, and basically when I didn't have duty on the weekends and when I didn't have duty even during the regular week, I started off just coaching Pop Warner football just like most people do. And I had a friend that was coaching Pop Warner football with me that was like, hey, man, I'm working this camp and they need some more volunteers. We're just setting up drills. Would you be interested in that? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I go to this camp, long story short, Preach, and I'm setting up these special teams drills. And lo and behold, the dude we're setting up special teams drills for happens to be one of the biggest recruits in college football coming out of high school that year. It was Percy Harvin. And this guy that I was working with had no clue who Percy Harvin was. It was ironic and it was funny. That's how I got my start. But for the majority of my time when I was coaching, I generally speaking, I worked with corners and receivers and quarterbacks. I kind of started off early on with corners and with receivers. And then as time went on, they realized I knew a lot about playing quarterback and I had done it in my past. And like, hey, do you want to work with the quarterbacks? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So then I spent like the last 5-6 years I was coaching, working with quarterbacks. Darrell said, do you think Jurgens can earn the right guard spot? I honestly like Driscoll there for now. And when Lane leaves, we slide him down. What do you think? Whew. That's a tough one because there's 3 candidates that make a ton of sense there. If Isaac Seumalo was still on the roster, I mean, he makes sense there. Jack Driscoll, I think the coaching staff loves that young man. I think they're very high on him. But to be fair, Seumalo and Driscoll, they need to stay healthy. That's been their issue. Man, people are back and forth on Jurgens, and I just, I got some guys that played offensive line that I need to get involved in film to tell me what they think about that possibility. My guy Jalen, my guy Caleb, both of those guys are former collegiate offensive linemen. There is a split community about whether or not Jurgens can be a guard. Some guys think that he clearly showed the ability to do it. Some guys feel like, no, he's not strong enough to do it. I don't know. I mean, I tend to just say let the young man try and see what you got there. I mean, you spend a second-round pick on somebody, you kind of need to find a way of getting them involved. So there's a high probability he does become the right guard because Driscoll could easily be your swing tackle and guard on the right side. And I think that's probably what they would like to see happen, is Driscoll be that first off the bench on the right side. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, Jeremiah. Dante said, what is the difference between this team and the dream team? That's really tough to say, Dante, without being inside. Sorry, guys, I had the TV playing me, so I just noticed it was screening everything. I think in my opinion, I think it comes down to the culture of the team. And that's hard to define without being in the building. A lot of those dudes were older veteran players. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm losing signal. I can see my signal strength isn't the greatest right now. A lot of those guys just, they were older players. They weren't really stepping into starting roles. I think that it was just bad, man. I think it was bad. I just think it was a bad combination of guys. I think this time around, you're getting a lot more younger guys in the prime of their careers. I think you're not really trying to go after necessarily star players per se. I mean, Hassan Riddick's a good player. I wouldn't call him a star per se. But, James Bradbury is a really good player, is a former Pro Bowler. I wouldn't call him a star player per se, though. What's up, Remo? Appreciate you, buddy. Says just gave you a sub. You do a good job. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. My guy, Eastside Monster. What's good, buddy? I appreciate y'all chiming in. Let everybody know. Hit the thumbs up button. Guys, I'm going to read a little faster because I see a lot of you guys are commenting. I'm not getting – let me catch up to people real quick. Jeremiah is saying, thanks. Appreciate you guys. After watching LB's podcast with the O-lineman from South Carolina, that's Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's good, man. Caleb knows his stuff. I think we should start Driscoll, like you said, and let the rookie wait. Appreciate you guys. 2020 said, watch some clips of the wide receivers and OTAs, and A.J. Brown's movement and quick feet was so smooth and superior compared to everyone else, including Smith. A.J. Brown is a different type of cat out there. A.J. Brown is going to make life really easy for some of these guys. I'm going to be honest, man. I think Devontae is going to be in for a huge year just because of the amount of attention A.J. Brown is going to command. I'm going to be honest. Devontae Smith's going to have a lot of opportunities. What's up? Oh, Drizzle, what's good, buddy? Says, yo, Gate, the new production room is fire. You are getting the new trend in the Eagles YouTube. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. What's your opinion on Britton? I always want to call him Brittany. My bad, Covey. My bad, man. Britton Covey. And what do you think his role or roles will be? He's a slot in the NFL. I think if he were to make this team, it'd probably be more than likely a 6 receiver if they were to carry 6. And he'd be a special teams guy. I mean, that's a special teams ace, in my opinion, Eastside Monster. Potential kick returner, punt returner type. Definitely has I don't think his long speed is that great. I don't think he's going to if he got past you after 10, 15 yards, I think you could catch up to him. But I do think his He's sudden. His initial quickness is pretty good. Like, you can see he's got that twitch. People need to watch your video on Rager. The D should be much improved this year. Gannon will be able to give great looks with 2 studs at corner. That's what I'm hoping too, Anthony. That's what I'm hoping, man. He said, I'm excited about that guy. Yeah, Britton Covey definitely has a small group of guys here that are pretty high on him. There's no doubt about it. Exactly. Just soak up knowledge from Kelsey as much as possible. A lot of Dickerson, Juergens, and the upcoming seasons will be nasty. Yeah, guys, if you haven't had a chance to watch Caleb break down some offensive line, I had Caleb and Jalen actually on my channel like back at the beginning of the year, guys. I'll when I finish the live stream, guys, I'll link it down below. So if you're watching the playback, look in the link down below and you'll see that video where they broke down the Tampa Bay game. They broke down that playoff game and kind of what happened on the offensive line with me. But if you haven't had a chance to go to, and I'll link LB's as well. If you had a chance to go watch the LB's live stream with Caleb, man, Caleb's a good guy. I've talked to Caleb a lot. Caleb and Jalen have taught me a lot about the offensive line, to be honest. You know, I'm a quarterback. I know when guys lose leverage because that meant I was going to get hit. But I don't know technique the way that Caleb and the way that Jalen do because those guys are collegiate athletes that played on the line. Both of those guys are very, very knowledgeable. Dante said, with so much talent on the offensive side of the ball, do you want to recreate the pass-happy offense or run balance? It's a great question, Dante. It's a really good question. And why I got this on my mind, I got one of my channel members here. Guys, I haven't shouted y'all out in a while, so let me just take 1 second, guys, and just shout out my channel members real quick. Miguel, thank you so much, man. Don, you're my guy. I appreciate you. Sean Jenkins, what's good, man? Paul 44, Robert Lee, Ray Bello, Dante Hill, my guy right here with the comment. Red Eagle, Proud Infidel, Drew Johnson, Mark Molenheier. I'm sorry, Mark, I'm butchering your last name. I can tell it's German, though, because of the ER at the end. David Berry, Sharon Grady. Thank you, Miss Sherry. Jalen Williams and Romy one more. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate y'all for being channel members. All right, get your answer, Dante. I think they're going to expand upon the offense. I do think they're going to expand upon passing concepts. With that said, I do not want them to lose sight of running the football. There are times where if you go away from running the ball, if you lose that edge, if you lose that ability to run the ball, when you get to the postseason, it will bite you in the rear end. You know what I mean, Dante? It could definitely bite you in the rear end if you're not careful. So in an idealized world, for me, I'd like to see them be between 55-45 pass or 60-40 at the most extreme pass. I think when you start dipping below 40% of your offensive plays not being running plays, I think you get into some crazy disparities. And I think that's when you can really make it easy to kind of pick up what you do on film. I think teams can really easily lead into what you're doing. And sometimes, man, you just got to let your offensive line get behind their pads and hit guys. You know, they got to sit back there and take on these pass rushers all day long. Sometimes you got to let them just be like, hey, man, it's your turn. Turn the tide around on. Let's go a little bit of run plays now. That's kind of my theory on it, Dante. I can't say what they'll do, though. My gut instinct is they're going to expand the passing game. We were 50-50 last year. We'll see. It's hard to say. How do you get a wrench, or was I like to say a wrench? East side. Hang on, I got you, bro. I got to pull it up on my phone, guys, to give out wrenches. My bad, man. It won't let you do it from StreamYard. You have to actually be logged into YouTube. So give me 1 second to find my live stream, and I'll hand out wrenches to a few of you guys. Easy enough. It was one of the first things. So. All right, Eastside, you got a wrench, buddy. Preach Facts TV. What's good, man? What's good? Jeremiah said, I just asked a good while ago if you've been here any real length of time, he'll probably just shoot you one. Yeah, just got to let me know, guys, because I have to be on my phone to give out wrenches. So I got to have my phone with me when I do it. I don't normally keep my phone on the channel when I do these live streams, so I have to, I just have to know to have it up and ready. I don't see what they see in Su'a-Peta. I mean, when you broke down the film from the playoff game, I believe it's the playoff game in particular, he did have pretty good movement skills, Kenzo. I mean, he showed way more than we had seen in years past. Now, I want to pump the brakes here, Kenzo, because I don't want anyone to walk away from this thinking that I'm saying this guy could be the main backup at anything. We don't know. He's got to prove it. But I do think that they like his underlying athleticism. I think that for him, the real problem was the game was so fast for him because he was coming out of a small school without having a lot of playing experience at this type of level, that for Su'a-Peta, it took some time for the game to slow down and for him to be able to use that underlying athleticism he had. He seemed to kind of click a switch late last year. Very small sample size, though, Kenzo. Hard to say that that'll continue. You know me, though, Kenzo. I'm the president of the Coyote Owasika fan club, so that's my guy for the deep roster. I was just wondering. Oh, it's all good, guys. I got you. If you let me know, I got you. Are you concerned with the offensive line doing way more pass blocking this year? What's up, Sports with Comma? I like the YouTube handle. It's a smart handle. Yeah, in short, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were graded very highly. But let's be honest. I mean, the thing that turned the season around, the thing that made us formidable was the fact that we could get behind a very good offensive line with the running game. So absolutely, right? I mean, there is a chemistry that comes between offensive lineman and quarterback. If you guys ever watch Jalen and I talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts and the footwork thing, Jalen would always ask me, he would say, from my perspective as an offensive lineman, I feel like Jalen Hurts is kind of tailing towards Mulata, which is causing a lot of those false pressures. And he's got to start learning how to actually climb up in the pocket. They call it crossing that center line, guys, and what they call the glide and slide. And I thought that Jalen got better at that as the season went on. You could see a couple examples quite clearly in the Denver game where he was getting it. So, I mean, yes. I mean, there's going to be an initial concern until they put those concerns to ease. But I will say that we'll be able to tell quite early. You'll get a feel quite early if things are flowing the right way. That'll be quite evident really, really fast. What's up, BLSG? How you doing, buddy? He said, what's up, Gay City? Been a while since I've been in one of your live streams. Yeah, I'm trying to do more of these, guys. I'm going to try to commit to a weekly live stream. I've been wrapping up the school year and just haven't had the time to be here, but I'll put this one up for support. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. That's cool, bro. Congratulations on wrapping up the school year, man. He said, also, just hit that like button. Appreciate you, man. You guys said way different. Our core is younger. Yeah, exactly. What's up, LT? How you doing, buddy? He said, if Jalen has a Mark Sanchez, my bad, guys, AFC chip run type of year where he's carried more by the defense, what's the range you would consider extending or paying him? Well, that's the real question, isn't it, LT? That's a difficulty of having a player past the first round at quarterback. That's why if you believe in a guy, you kind of need to draft him, even if he's not a first-round pick when it comes to quarterbacks, right? Because having that fifth-year option on the contract is quite vital. Because then you can allow him to play into the fourth year and get potentially that third and fourth year together to figure out the extension and figure out the level of play. But when you get a guy that's drafted second round and back, you got that 4-year contract. You can't even extend them until after the third year anyways. And now you're in the situation of, do you franchise? When you look at franchise tags are not traditionally used on quarterbacks. It's only been like 12 or 13 times that's happened. But when you look at the guys that were franchise tagged, a lot of the guys recently, even though Dak Prescott never played underneath the franchise tag, they did franchise tag him. Then you look at guys like the dude, Kirk Cousins, those type of guys. Those were dudes that were drafted outside of the first round that were on 4-year contracts that, caused them to be franchise tags. So that would be my concern, LT, is that depending on what Jalen's seeking, depending on what Jalen's agent is seeking, depending upon what the Eagles are willing to pay, depending upon the performance this year and how far the Eagles go, it can lead you into some trouble, some things, no doubt about it. I don't know. I mean, to put it quickly here, LT, I don't know. I can't really predict it other than to say that if you view him as a franchise quarterback, then the starting price tag is the franchise tag forward. That's just the way it works, right? It's from the franchise tag forward. And I do know that they would probably prefer to get him under contract if he's playing well enough this year than next year. because I believe the franchise tag starting in 2023 is going up to like $38 million for quarterbacks. You know, it is a tough decision, LT. To be real, it's a tough decision. Dante said, we need them again. BLSG said, Britton Covey has to be used on special teams as kick returner and punt returner. That's how he was mostly used at Utah and can definitely be something special. What's up, Raphael? How you doing, man? I'm doing good, bro. I hope you are. Kenzo said, our Super Bowl team was the most balanced Eagles team I have ever seen. Hope they repeat that. Yeah, and they did it by passing in the first half of games and then putting teams away with the running game in the second half. I'm sure that's kind of what Nick and Steichen would like to do. But you got to be more effective in the first half of games, Kenzo. You know what I mean? Like, that's the troublesome part here, is that our defense was just so horrid in the first half of football games that it really threw our offense out of rhythm. And that's got to get better, man. I mean, it's one of those weird things. Like, you know, we always talk about on this channel, we talk a lot about how your pass rush and your coverage have to be in unison with one another. If one is burning the other, then you're hurt. I'll give you an example here, guys. In the Eagles world, we always talk about our corners being so far off that quarterbacks didn't even need 2.5 seconds to get the ball out. They were just taking what we gave them, moving down the field and put points up on us, right? Well, the Giants had the opposite problem, to where their pass rush was so horrid that they were putting James Bradbury and I think they had Jackson as their other corner, Tyree Jackson. Those guys actually had really good coverage down the field. But when you ask a dude to cover for X amount of time, you get burned. Well, if you take that from a wider perspective and just talk about the offense and the defense being in unison together, Kenzo, I think our defense burned us last year in the first half. I think teams were just marching up and down too easily. And that's something that, you know, Gannon's got to account for. He's got to be better, man. He's got to be better, because you guys are going to come for me if he's as bad as he was last year. And I know you are, because I'm not going to mount a defense for him this year, guys. I mean, it's got to be this year. Like, he's had enough opportunity. He's got to show it this year. He cannot use the personnel excuse, in my opinion, this year. What's up, Samuel? How you doing, buddy? He says, it feels like Howie has obtained a high-performance vehicle and has tossed the key to Sirianni and Jalen Hurts drive us to a Super Bowl. I hope you're right, bro, because I do feel like there's something special that could be happening. I feel like we're right there to where something real special could happen. Appreciate you guys. My guy Pre said, didn't know you were in the military like LB. Appreciate you guys' service. Hey, man, thank you, Preach. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I don't want to compare myself to LB. I was in the military, but to be fair, LB was forward operations. That's LB was in real harm's way. If you guys don't know what forward operations is in the military, guys, that's when you leave the safety and the comfort of the main base area, and you're in these small little compounds out in basically hostile territory. Like, it's a very dangerous job. Like, LB's the real deal, guys. I think he was with the 11th Mountain Division, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, guys, I was in the service. Odin said, yes, we have all these players. It's actually up to the coaches now. 100%, 100%, man. How much more production do you see Hurts having this coming year, yards and touchdown wise? He had about 31, 32-ish last year, if I'm not mistaken, guys. I think it was like 31, 44, if I'm not mistaken. Man, it's got to be a big time uptick, in my opinion, East Side. I would think that it's so subjective, man, because success is success. As long as he's leading the team and he's getting the offense into a rhythm, and when teams are selling out to stop the run, he can beat it with his arm, I have no problem with it being under what I'm projecting. But I do think that it is very likely, with giving the skilled players around him, Goddard, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders. He's got a lot of dudes that got talent. I think it's possible for him to hit that 38 to 4,200, yard range. I think it's there, man. If he can get this offense into rhythm, and he can beat teams that try to sell out in the box to stop the run, there's no reason why he can't hit that type of numbers. In terms of touchdowns, I just want to see double the ratio, right? I mean, preferably, I'd like to see him over 20 touchdowns, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say he's got to be over 30 touchdowns. Like, to me, combined. A touchdown's a touchdown. If you're over combined between rushing, throwing, whatever, as long as you're contributing, your contribution leads to 30 or more, I think he's in a good place. BLSG said, Gate, by the way, I end school on Friday, June 10th. Okay. All right, bro. Yeah, my wife's still teaching as well. So, yeah, her last day, I think, is Friday as well. But I think the kids in Forsyth County, which is where my wife teaches, I think they get out, I want to say June 8th, man. I want to say June 8th. What's up, Red Eagle, with the super chat, man? Appreciate you, bro. What's up, Gay City? How many O-linemen you think will keep on the 53 this year? Great question. Man, 9 to 10. 9 to 10. I think if they want to go heavy at wide receiver, Red Eagle, then they'll keep 9 offensive linemen. But I think if they're trying to hedge themselves against injury, it'll be 10 offensive linemen. That would be my prediction. But tough to say, man. It's really tough to say. But I think it's going to be 9 to 10. It would be where I feel real comfortable saying. I want Will Levis next year. What's up, Daz Deal? How you doing, bro? Drew, what's good, man? Said, what up, Gate? I don't know if it's just me. May seem too early, but I feel like this team has some. Got you, bro. Something special, bro. Same thing, Drew. Same thing. They seem to be clicking. I don't know how else to explain it, man. Sometimes it's just a gut instinct that you get from the vibe from the team. I feel like this team is going to be way more competitive than some people realize. I agree. I agree, Drew. I definitely do. Kendo said, in your experience, do you think seeing the whole field is something a quarterback like Jalen can learn, or is it a natural instinct? Because that's my number one concern with him. It's a bit of both. You definitely, like, even Tom Brady got better as time went on with seeing the field. One can argue that Drew Brees could read protection quickly, but he had field read for the majority of his career, to be quite honest. I mean, part of the reason that Drew Brees had a lot of success inside of Sean Payton's offense is that they basically would put him up the line of scrimmage, and he would have split field and would have that, those reads real quick to where he would be half field reading. He'd make the decision on which half of the field based upon coverage he wanted to play, and he would go with it. To me, Kenzo, I think the bigger issue here is when you're young, you got to see defenses, right? Film helps, but live game reps trump film, in my opinion. The film kind of supplements the live game reps. And I think the more times you're exposed to coverage, the more likely you're going to be able to recognize it. Now, the question will be, as he gets better at recognizing coverages, how quickly can he play out scenarios in his head prior to games to where when the changeup happens, when they start disguising more stuff on him? Because once he starts showing them that he can beat the basic coverage stuff that they're throwing at him, they're going to start disguising stuff on him. And that'll be the next step if he shows that. What's up, Samuel? How you doing, buddy? He says Howie has brought all of the groceries all the groceries we asked for. Let's see what kind of cooks the Eagles coaches that we have in the kitchen. Love your perspective. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Samuel. Ant, what's good, bro? How you doing, man? Said, Gate, what's Jalen got to do to keep his job going forward? Playoff win, or will a competitive playoff loss keep his job? I love the way you phrase that. That's an excellent way of looking at it, right? That, even a playoff win, if he plays pretty badly, could still be concerning, right? But even a playoff loss, if Jalen's not the reason for it and Jalen's actually keeping us in the game and he's playing really well, yeah, I love the way you're looking at that, Ant. He's got to play well, right? He's got to show that he can lead this team. I think the easiest way of doing that is to clearly make a playoff run, right? Is to get a playoff win. And look, Carson Wentz is incredibly talented, guys. What's going on with Carson Wentz is all in here. I think everyone knows that. He's got some fundamental things. He's a tall dude. He tends to, they call overstride, just means that has that really long, elongated, kind of foot stance as he throws. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that he's perfect. He's been accused of pigeon toeing. Your foot's pointing one direction, your target's going is the opposite direction, that kind of thing. But that said, most of what's going on with Carson was mental. But the point of me bringing up Carson isn't about that. It's to say that if Jalen wins a playoff game this year, he did what Carson never did in Philly. He didn't win a playoff game. And I do think that Carson would have had a shot at beating Seattle in 2019. But nonetheless, He didn't do it. He got knocked out of that game. He never ended up winning a playoff game in Philadelphia. If Jalen does that, he did something that you got to go back. You got to go back quite a few years to, well, Nick Foles clearly, guys, but past Nick Foles, you got to go back quite a few years to get to a quarterback who won a playoff game for us. Hey, what's good, man? How you doing, Dave? Gate, what's up, good brother? Hey, I'm hanging in there, man. I hope you're doing well, guys. Hey, if y'all don't know who Dave Dust is, man, Dave was the guy who did the custom sneakers last year. We did that drawing to where if you won the raffle prize, you got those customized sneakers. Hey, man, Dave is talented, guys. Like, my guy's got, like, real, actual, like, art skills. Like, he's really talented. Dave, sometime, man, you got to send me some more pictures of your customizations, and I'll throw them up when I'm talking so people can see, bro, because, like, you're talented, man. You're really talented. Dad said Hurts and Gannon's biggest question marks are the biggest question marks. Raphael said, I'm blessed, waiting as patiently as I can for this season, though. Yo, me too, man. Me too. Sorry, guys. I had the camera, like, directly in front of me, so I got to, like, look around my webcam to see the comments. That's why I'm pausing sometimes. Dad said, dream scenario is Hurts throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. The Saints tank and we get Will Anderson. Love it, bro. Love that. That would be awesome. Dave said, I'm late to the party, but how do you feel about Nick giving up play calling? I made a video yesterday about that, Dave. I think it's a smart move. I know it's not going to be popular with some people, but to be quite honest, Dave, like, I think people over glorify what play calling is, right? Because the beauty in the art when it comes to, like, offensive concepts comes from the design, the install into the game plan. And I think where Nick is best suited to do things is to be creative of trying to find the matchups for dudes. I think once you get to the play calling aspect, you're going off of, number one, 15 plays or so that are very well scripted. You run those things in practice. You're looking for your opportunities. Normally they're within the first couple possessions of a game to run those scripted plays. So if you only have 7 to 8 offensive possessions and your first 2 to 3 are heavily scripted, you ain't doing, it's like 5 to 6 offensive possessions to where you're going through a play sheet. But even on your play sheet, like, you're already going through the game plan. So you're going by scenario and situation, right? So you have your plays picked out. I don't know how many plays they have for each situation. Just to make it easy, we'll say 4. Then you're picking, that's what the play caller's doing. He's just radioing in and picking those plays from that. To me, I think play calling gets a little overrated, and I think it's actually an advantage for Nick to be freed up, to pay attention to the flow of the game, to help out a young quarterback, help out potentially young receivers, right? Because AJ needs to be in the game. Nick can help out, in that role if he feels like dudes aren't doing it. I think it's going to do a lot in terms of strategy and really getting a broader viewpoint of what teams are doing and how they're approaching you. I think it's a smart idea. And I got to give Nick kudos because a lot of head coaches won't do that. A lot of head coaches are scared. They feel like if they're not calling plays, it becomes difficult to justify their jobs. But truth be told, a lot of the really, really good coaches are executive coaches. It's just that it's difficult, man, because a lot of these dudes' identities are tied to being that guy that calls the plays. Preach said, Daz deals who had more pressure, Hurts or Gannon? Who has more pressure? That would be lovely. Both. If either one of them stinks, it's over for them. Hey, what's up, Fred? How you doing, bro? He said, what up, Gate? Do you think we have enough depth at safety? I'm not that high on Anthony Harris or the guys behind him and Epps. Yeah, I started off the live stream where we talked about that, Fred. I am concerned. I mean, Epps has got some pretty impressive underlying analytics to his play last year. He was very good in run defense, according to PFF. They had him graded as the second highest safety in run defense. He can play in the box. His coverage was but wasn't horrible, wasn't great. With that said, I do think that, Epps, they're putting a lot of faith in him. There's a lot of trust there. And, I'm hoping that Epps keeps meeting the challenge, Fred, because I feel like the guy that I saw in 2019, I did not like a whole lot. when we let go of Andrew Sendejo and then signed Epps, we just kind of swapped with the Vikings. And we brought Epps in here. When he played in 2019 and he played in 2020, I wasn't overly impressed with him. But then he started to show something last year, Fred. I just hope that we can get a continuation of that, to be honest. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen. I definitely get the skepticism to say that, Anthony Harris is crossing over 30 now. He's got the reach. He's 32-inch arm length. He's a little underweight, though. He's a box dude that's underweight. He's like 185 pounds, and he plays the box a lot. I do think that when he was in games, I thought Anthony Harris was respectable. I don't think he was great, but I do think he was respectable. Got to be healthy, though. He needs to be healthy in order to do something. That's going to be part of it, man. That's going to be a big part of it, Fred. What's up, AK Eagles? How you doing, bro? He said, yo, what's up, Gates? Long time, man. Hope all is well, bro. I'm doing well, man. I hope all is good with you, bro. Sorry, guys. It's skipping around on me. Let me go back up and find everything. My guy Dante said, all Epps needs is 4 picks for the fans to get behind him. Easier said than done. But second in run defense, yeah, man. He was playing pretty well apparently in run defense. I'll give you guys a little bit more on the run defense perspective, because I did break it down a little further than that. So I was looking at guys that had double-digit, what they call run stops, right? So stop constitutes a failure for the offense. So Jordan Fuller from the Los Angeles Rams had 11. Landon Collins from the Washington, I don't know what, they're Commanders now, I guess, had 15. Jordan Whitehead from Tampa Bay had 25, by far the most productive of anybody. Malik Hooker from Dallas had 10. Ronnie Harrison from Cleveland had 11. And Jamal Adams from Seattle had 18. If Epsy can get up to double-digit stops in the run game, along with being better in coverage and getting multiple interceptions on the year, I do think that he's going to be looked upon a lot differently. I agree. Dad said, nah, I don't. If he doesn't move the ball, though, through the air effectively, I have no doubt how he's going to grab one of these quarterbacks next year out of the draft. You're probably right. What's up, Malcolm? How you doing, brother? He said, Donovan McNabb and D-Jax are beefing. I missed the beef. What happened? Dad said, going to be very hard for Howie to pass up on these guys if Hurts puts up the same numbers. Yeah, I think it's more so if teams are selling out to the box. If teams are selling out the box and Hurts isn't able to defeat that, then yes, I think you have a point, Daz. Hey, I mean, guys, by all means, come back and be like, yo, Gate, he didn't do it, bro. You were wrong. But I have a feeling I got a feeling, man, he's going to prove people wrong. I think he's going to start showing it. I do, man. I think he's working on the right things. I think he has a really good perspective, and I know this guy's going to work hard. I honestly think he's going to show it this year. I really do. What's up, Gate? My bad. It's all good, bro. It's all good. I seen that. What's up, BR549? Coach Gorilla Gates. What do you think about the roster? Best since 2017? This is the most excited. I'm going to go past 2017 because I wasn't overly excited about the roster in 2017. That one just it caught me personally by surprise. I'm going to say that this is the most excited I've been about the roster since 2004. That was the last time, when we got the freak, Javon Curse, and then Terrell Owens. Like that was, I was a lot younger, but hey, man, I was real excited. That's kind of how I feel about this construction of this roster. I feel the same way about this particular construction. What's up, Jeremiah? Preach said, should be 10, but we'll do 9 to keep Rager on the roster. Yeah, they might. You're right, Preach. They might. What's up, Dank? How you doing, buddy? He said, what's your prediction for Hurts touchdown interception ratio? My thing is, man, as long as it's 2-1, it's hard to predict that. The only thing I said is it needs to be over 20. I think, and I think he was almost there last year. We had a couple of unfortunate procedure penalties because the league changed the rules, around those kind of screen plays, those tunnel screens. And blocking downfield and, how far downfield you're allowed to get. I think there was some early season mishaps with that called back touchdowns, if I'm being honest. We had some guys drop footballs, to be honest, in the end zone too. So, I mean, I think that he's already on pace to get to that extent. But I would say, Dank, the way I look at it is if he can get over 35 combined touchdowns through throwing the ball and running the ball, if you can get yourself above 35, I think you're playing at a very, very high level for a quarterback. And I don't want Jalen to expose himself to injury. I really don't. But at the same time, I don't want Jalen to not be Jalen. Play to what your strength is. Your ability to take off of the pocket at any point in time causes defense to account for you. So if you can start playing on schedule, if you can put this offense into a rhythm, if you can beat heavy boxes when they play heavy boxes to try to stop the run, if you can do that, I think it's going to be special, Dank. I do. I think he's going to put up a pretty big year. Get your jersey yet? What's up, Spike? How you doing, buddy? He said lose his job. He made it to the playoffs. He's not talking about this year, Spike. He's talking about the Eagles' impatience with the quarterback position. Just, traditionally speaking, Spike, the way that this front office is very impatient with quarterbacks, especially guys that weren't picked in the first round. He's talking about that. And I think it's complex, Spike, because I think you can lose a playoff game but not be the cause of the loss. You know what I mean? So I do think that it's complex. I think the bigger aspect is that, as we've been stating pretty much this whole live stream, when teams sell out to stop our zone read, to stop, our running game, when they sell out the box to do that, Jalen's got to beat him with his arm. If he does that this year and shows that he can command the offense, I think he's clearly going to get extended. I think it's clear that that'll occur. What's up, Spike 23? I appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. What up, Gates? I'm really excited about the Eagles. I'll be at the Texan game on Thursday night. Oh, crap. That's a good game to go to, too, man. Huh. My wife was born in Corpus Christi, and she hasn't really been back to Texas. Her dad was in the military as well. So she really hasn't been there since she was like a really small child. I would actually like to get into that. I'd like to go to that game, too, just because we got family in that area. I'll let you know, Spike. If I make it out that way, bro, I'll let you know, man. I would definitely like to make it out to that game too. I just got to see. I got to see if it'll line up with the schedule. Ada's deal, y'all got burnt. Huh. What's up, Eagles Clips? How you doing, bro? Roll me one more. What's good, man? I appreciate you tuning in, bro. No problem, man. What's up, Daz? He said the emails they sent us is like Morse code. Trying to figure out how this all works leaves me more questions. Supposedly we have to go to Ocean Resort or something. Are you going there for a Jacob Media event? Eagles Clip said, anyone know what's up with Alshon Jeffrey? He hasn't played in 2 years, but also hasn't announced his retirement. He was coming back off that Liz Frank. I'm going to be honest, Eagles Clips. I suffered a very similar injury to that. That's a really tricky injury, man, because you get phantom pains out of nowhere. It's like a muscle memory thing. I don't think there's anything really wrong with your foot, but like something happens to where like your foot will just give out on you for no reason after having that injury. So I'm wondering if I wonder if that's something like that's going on. Oh, my guy Dante said, buy the pillow. I just did. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate that, guys. Dad said, Robert Quinn wants out of Chicago. What's your thoughts, Gate? Talented guy. Underrated pass rusher, Daz. You don't find many dudes getting 18 sacks. You know what I mean? Like, that's a talented guy. He played football. He's definitely a good pass rusher. He's just under $13 million in base. The Eagles, look, here's the thing. We know that. I don't want to say the cap is make-believe because I think that's an overstatement. But the cap is very malleable, meaning it can be moved and molded if you got a GM that knows what he's doing. So they got to figure out the money aspect, and I don't think 2022 is what holds us back. I think it's really 2023's cap because he would have to be like kind of a Darius Slay situation where you traded for him and then you signed him to some kind of an extension to work that contract to make, because we got to do some things at 23 to free up money. So I think it'd be one of those situations if it happened, Daz. And for you guys, I'm not saying I don't have any inside information, guys. I have no clue if it's going to happen. I'm just speaking out of what I know from the contract situation and our cap space. Eastside Monster said, one thing that worried me from Hurts press conference, he said with the second year, with the same playbook, it will help know where he's going to put the ball from what the defense shows him. If he means pre-snap, I think he means pre and post. I definitely think he means pre and post, Eastside. I think the real question with that is will Nick and Shane give Jalen more? Will they give him more autonomy at the line of scrimmage to make adjustments, right? There's the play that got put up where they were showing Quez Watkins running down the field wide open, right? The issue is that they were running a variation of smash, right? Smash just means like you're running kind of like a hitch. You're hitching, and then behind that hitch, you're running a route behind it, right? So you got something kind of coming in behind the hitch, right? So you're trying to put one of the corners into conflict. He's either got to play up or play back. The problem is the corner stumbled, saw what was happening, and stayed right in the middle of those two routes. And that was Goddard on the deeper route that was supposed to go behind that hitch route, and they had Devontae Smith running the hitch route. But on the opposite side of the field, you had Quez Watkins running a seam route, and it came wide open. The issue is that the Giants played cover 5, which is a cover 2 with a man under concept. It was a perfect defense to guard against the concept that we were running. If you give Jalen Hurts the ability at the line of scrimmage to see that pre-snap, because, they did, I think they motioned Gainwell across the formation. You could see they must have been in cover 5 because you got 2 deep safeties. You got a man under here. It seems like cover 5. Jalen should have been able to say, like, hey, Quez, alert, it's coming, bro. Cerebralfootball.com, guys. CEREBRALFOOTBALL.com, guys. Cerebralfootball.com. Give me a second. I'll type it in the comments, guys. That's the website. If you go, there's articles there that we've written. I got an article I'm about to put up actually sometime this weekend for you guys, but there's some articles there. And then there's a shop. You'll see there's a shop link there. I also normally link it in the bottom of videos. It's not on this video yet, but normally if you look at the videos, it's normally set up there. And see, Dante just gave you guys the long form that put you through the back channel to it. Appreciate you, Dante. So here's the long form of it, guys. It'll take you directly to the actual pill, I believe. Daz Deal said, bro, our Phillies are going off now. Joe is gone. Yeah, Daz, I got frustrated with them, man. The Phillies have broken my heart more than one time, bro. I was really young, Daz, in 93 with the Joe Carter and Mitch Williams home run, man. That killed me as a young kid. That hurt. That was one of my first, real hurts. And then Reggie White left in free agency, and I really knew pain. And you had Jerome Brown, the situation around that. Yeah, man. Sometimes being a Philly fan is it's rough, bro. It's rough, man. The Sixers, believe it or not, Daz, I used to make Sixers content. You probably won't even be able to find the videos because I only made a couple of them. I used to make Sixers content. But in I think it was the 2020 season when they had that Western road trip out in Arizona and stuff, and they basically lost the entire Western road. Bro, they broke me. They broke me, man. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't keep my composure making the videos. I was getting so mad. Yeah, man. Sports in Philly, bro. Sports in Philly, man. Do you agree that the NFC East is a run-first conference? That's how I see the boys, the Giants, and the Commies. I like the way you titled them. NFC East Beast. So I think you're bringing up an interesting point about Dallas. I've had this hunch, too. About Dallas, that with the detraction of Amari Cooper and younger guys, you got, Michael Gallup coming back from injury. I mean, yeah, they went out and signed some veteran dudes. They got James Washington. But I do get the feeling that they might revert themselves back to, I'm not saying a run-heavy team, but a little bit more run-heavy than what they've been in the last couple of years with Dak at quarterback. I think it's an interesting point. Yeah, you might be right. Spike said, I think he's got it. If he doesn't, how he move on from. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Spike. 2020 said, I want to see Hurts have a lot of autonomy to change plays at the line of scrimmage. Want to see how far Hurts has come in the NFL, and if Hurts fails, it should be on him. 100%. 2020, exactly. That's the same way I feel about this. Let the young man either succeed on his merit or fail on merit. I agree. 100%, man. Instead of being stuck in bad play calls. Exactly. Exactly. Like, yeah, 100%, man. Can't say it. I can't say it any better. Mr. Braggadocious, love the handle, bro. Hurts has improved every year of his career, including his college days, and is only looked at like he is because of his draft position. Nothing but a continued steady rise from the start. What's up, Mr. Braggadocious? I appreciate the chat, bro. Yeah, you're right. He's gotten better every year. He's played on some, a lot of people go back to the fact that his dad was a high school football coach and he played for his dad. He played on a pretty bad team, man. Jalen Hurts was their entire offense, to be honest. And I'm trying to be polite about the way I say that because I know Jalen's probably got teammates that he keeps in contact with, and I don't want to, I don't want to berate anybody per se, but that was not a great team, to be quite honest. And Jalen, I think, led them to the playoffs one year in high school. So I think you're right, man. I think you're 100% right. Fred said both are trash, but which one is better, Matt Collins or Jalen Reagor? Well, Mac did play special teams pretty well. Excellent question, Fred. I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed in Jalen. I don't want to bury him. I know Jalen's going through some tough stuff right now. My heart goes out to the situation for Jalen. I can't imagine sharing a room with somebody like that, and that guy being your brother from another mother, and as young as these young men are, and I've had, you lose people when you're in the service, guys, but I never lost anyone that I was like really tight with. I was like really close with. I can't imagine going through that. I can't. Completely agree. Thanks for the reply. Hey, no problem, bro. No problem, man. I appreciate you commenting, man. My guy Dave said, I got you, Gay. Thanks for the love, bro. Hey, no problem, man. I believe in your work, bro. I believe in your work, Dave. I believe in your work, bro. Spike said, got it. What's good, Drew? Hey, I'm hanging in there, man. Let me know. Oh, here we go. AJ said he's going there too to the Houston game. Yes, at Gate City Sports Talk. I have no clue when or why, but yes. Spike said, we have a huge fan base here in Texas. A bar called the Eagle's Nest in Houston stayed covered in eagle green. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Drew said the room is looking better with the shelves and the Eagles merch. Yeah, so this is the live stream setup. I got to go. I think when I end the live stream tonight, guys, I might go run out to maybe Lowe's before it closes. And I might try to go get some more adhesive. I need to work on getting this. So I have like a satin paint on the wall that the soundboard stuff is up on. So I got to find an adhesive that won't completely damage my walls, but at the same time will actually hold the soundproofing up. So that way, when I make the videos during the regular week, those are locked in. You know what I mean? But yeah, I appreciate that, Drew. Hem the Guru. What's up, bro? Any word on how Davion Taylor is looking? I hope he's coming back healthy, man, because I thought Davion was showing something last year. I really do. I was as excited as I've been in a long time to see Davion on the field because he looked lost his rookie year. He didn't play a whole lot, and he got injured. And then he comes out, gets injured in camp after the coaching staff was raving about him. We got to sit through a long time before he gets back on the field, ends up kind of losing himself out onto the rotation until they got to make a change at linebacker. And then he comes in and looks great. Man, I think he's one of those guys that could have he could sneak up on people and have a really productive year. He's got to stay healthy, though. He's got to be healthy. But the talent's there. I thought he was really starting to show talent last year. Vincent said, bottom line, the owner loves Jalen Hurts and how he does with the owner wants. How he does what the owner wants. My bad, Vincent. Jalen has proven to get better every year since being drafted. 100%, man. Absolutely. One of the first videos I did where I broke down Jalen Hurts, I broke down that Dallas game. And I talked about the fact that Jalen was struggling throwing to NFL windows. It was quite obvious as a guy who's played the position before. If you go back, guys, if you have NFL Game Pass, if you guys don't know what NFL Game Pass is, guys, it costs like $100, like $99 for the year. You get all 22 coaches film access. You get replay of games. If you have I'll give you a little tip here, guys. I have a link through NordVPN. So wait for the playback and then go to the links below, and I'll link NordVPN to link for you. If you go through NordVPN or any of those type of sites, and you sign up for an account and you put it on your router, and you sign up for NFL Game Pass International, I use England. If you sign up for it, they get live games, guys. They get to watch the games live. I don't know why, but they do. And they also have a better interface for the actual all 22. Their interface is way better than ours. They have less glitches, less problems, all that kind of stuff. But biggest tip here is whether you do that or not, if you just use the American version, you'll be fine. Go back and watch the 2020, the second game that Jalen played in from Dallas, and then go watch, the Denver game, for example, in 2021. And you can see just how much he progressed, Vincent. Like he's definitely progressed. Eagles Clip said, y'all saw people sending death threats to Jalen Reagor. Crazy, especially after him losing his right-hand man, Jeff Gladdy. Yeah, man, people are nuts, bro. Like, I'm disappointed in his play. I was really high, Eagles Clips, on Jalen Reagor. I thought he was going to be way better than this. I knew he had concerns. I knew that his production in college was sketchy as crap, but I thought the dude was talented. I thought when you ran his film, you could see, little glimpses of that talent there at TCU. I'm disappointed, man, but I would never go out a guy like that, man. That's not right. It's really not right. Scott, what's good, buddy? He said Smitty's going to be expensive and so will Hurts. Yeah, you're right. They will be. You're right. Dad said, man, we should have fired Girardi 15 games ago. Ugh. Yeah, bro. It didn't go so well. That was shameful. Yeah, man. What is wrong with people, man? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, guys. This is the, if you guys want to read, you don't have to go there to shop, guys. But I do have articles, and I'm posting one on the defense currently. I'm working on one about the coverage. I was about to post it. Then we signed Bradbury. So now I needed to rework Bradbury into the article. So I'm going to put that up sometime by early next week. That article will be up. But guys, I have, plenty of dudes. Hunter Doyle from Philly Insider Podcast. He writes for me. Sam Hunt, well, not Sam Hunt, but Sam Shady from Sam Shady Sports. He writes for me. We got a few guys that do some stuff that write, guys. So if you guys want to see that. The Cowboys got the NFC East on lock, and the Eagles and Generals will be punched out. Or is that left? I can't see that very good. Allergic to pheasants. I don't know, bro. I think you guys might have locked yourself in the room. Now you can't get out. Now, look, I'll give you this. Allergic to pheasants. I'll give you this as an Eagles fan. We got to beat you guys. I know you guys have won 4 games straight or whatever. I'm going to say that there's complexity to that. I'm only going to count 2 of those games personally because some of those games really had no meaning. To be honest, I think you guys won 3 straight, actually. But with that said, we got to beat you guys. We do. We need to beat you guys. There's no doubt about it. I get it. I think we can put together a team that is good enough to compete and beat you. But we'll see. It's got to be done on the field. Marcus said, what's good, my guy? I honestly think that Epps could be pretty good with the corners we have. Hey, what's up, Marcus? How you doing, bro? I hope so, man. I hope so. I think he's got an opportunity too. You got the down part right. You guys went down big time, losing all those players. And by the way, the Eagles owned the East 9 titles in 20 years, a Super Bowl and 14 playoff wins. Y'all funny, man. I most definitely agree with that, but he won't fail. He works too hard, in my opinion. Hey, Marquette, exactly, bro. You got it, man. That's what I'm thinking too, man. Is he's a worker, bro. He puts in the work, no doubt about it. I got to put up the Eagles. What's good, man? How you doing, bro? I appreciate you tuning in. Remo said, "Do you think this is Miles Sanders' last year with the Birds?" That's a great question, and I think it's very possible. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I think he's in a very peculiar place to where if he doesn't play that well, then he won't have any value to the Eagles. If he plays crazy well, without really wanting to work and to remain in Philly and be a part of the Eagles, I think the question would become, how much money are the Eagles willing to pay for a running back? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a very weird situation to where he has to be good, but not like leading the league in rushing. You know what I mean? Like, he's in that weird place, man, where I think that there could be a separation following this year. I do think that's possible. I want to see Hurts quit staring at the rush and keep his eyes downfield. It was his biggest problem against good teams like Tampa Bay. Some of that is by design, though, to be fair. NFC East beast, you know how it is. I'm pretty sure that, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they ran zone read even when you played, man. I'm sure they did because I played probably, later than a lot of guys on this channel. I played in the late 90s, early 2000s. But even when I played, we ran a lot of zone read, to be honest. And I think that, the RPOs and the zone reads cause quarterbacks to kind of stare down those type of things, to be honest. They need to open up the offense a little bit more and I'm not saying you go completely away from RPOs. I'm not saying you completely go away from the zone read, but you got to expand upon those principles. I also think, to be fair, NFC East beats, tell me your opinion on it, but I think they can help Jalen Hurts out a lot by having A.J. Brown run in breaking routes. I just don't think we had a guy that could do that from the wide receiver position last year. And I think that that's going to help a lot. Dave said, "I'm so happy I didn't get rid of my Wentz jersey. Now all I have to do is change the name on the back." Yeah, take the stitches out, man. Yeah, if it's stitching, just take the stitches out. That's funny, guys. What's up, Sway? How you doing, bro? What's up, these cookies? Your handle's funny, bro. They sell a roll of painter's paper that you can cover the wall with, then spray the adhesive on the paper. So if you ever take the soundproofing down, it will be like nothing ever happened to the wall. I like that. Huh. Appreciate that, man. That's a good piece of advice, man. I like that a lot. Yeah. Irish, what's up, bro? He said, "What's up, Steve? And hello, my fellow Eagle fans." Sorry, guys. I'm clicking down to click on comments, and then it jumps the screen on me. Dad said, "Wait, so why do we sign into England to get better all 22? Yeah, so you can get live games. So if you sign into London, guys, they get the games live. Where we get the playback, they actually get it live, which is ridiculous, but they do. They get it live. So if you have, so this is what I do. I use my HDMI cord from my laptop to my TV. And then normally I can get it to display on my TV by doing that. So if you get it through England, so if you get a VPN and then put the VPN on your router and then sign up for an NFL Game Pass Europe account, you'll get live games for that $99 and you'll get all 22 and you'll still get playback and stuff. And you get all the, all the shows and stuff too. The behind the scenes stuff, all that stuff. Leave the horned frogs in the desert. Leave it to the TCU nickname. If you come to the Texans game, the Eagles Nest will be tailgating starting at noon at Texan Stadium. I'll send you the information once everything is confirmed. All right, cool, Spike. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd like to know that one. Drew said I would like to go to the Texan game. Yeah, I would like to too, man. I'm going to look into it because my wife, like I said, my wife is from Corpus Christi, and we got family that lives in Houston, so that would be a nice one to kind of actually attend. And because it's on a Thursday, just kind of take the weekend. You know what I mean? I can't decide what game to go to. Going to home games is the easiest. Yeah, I'm going to definitely go to one home game. I didn't get to go to one last year. I went to the Carolina game because it was just an hour drive for me. But yeah, absolutely. What's up, Abby? How you doing? My guy, Iron Steve said, I'm a fan of Epps. With Bradbury in the mix and Slay, Harris, 3 of the 4 are proven NFL starters. I think Epps will fit in well in our secondary. Plus the additions at defensive line and linebacker will help him too. Yeah, definitely when they play that quarters and you only got that's the problem with playing quarters is you need to have linebackers that can cover a lot of ground, right? Because you only got 3 under defenders. So you need to have 3 under defenders that can cover a ton of ground. But yeah, I 100%, man. 100%. I'll be putting 1K on us for the division. The only thing that talks is money. Drew said respect. Wait, and we don't get the games live? Not here. Not if you sign up through an American account, you won't get live games. You'll get playback. You'll get the playback. Daz, I'm not going to say it on the live stream, but if you hit me up on Twitter, I can teach you a workaround. You know, I'll say that before I had the NFL Europe account, I used to live a pirate's life when it came to live streaming games. There are workarounds to it, but you know, you can go through NFL Europe, NFL Game Pass, and last year they had the games live, so I was able to go through that and watch the games live, which was nice because all I had to do was just take an HDMI plug from my, from my laptop and plug it into my TV, and I got the games. What's up, Donna? How you doing? What's good, Gate? Always with the great content. Appreciate that. I don't know about what you think, but I believe that, and as much as I hate to, Derek Barnett is going to put up some unexpected numbers. Well, I wouldn't hate it. That would be awesome because he would finally produce. If I'm not mistaken, Donna, correct me if I'm wrong because I could be wrong because I don't have the information in front of me. I think he signed a 2-year deal with us to come back. Now, I don't know if they did some fancy weird stuff with the contract, and sometimes 2-year deals aren't really 2-year deals. But, I mean, if they technically have him in contract for 2 years, it would definitely help us out if Derek Barnett finally produced to the talent. But England does. Yeah, Daz, you got it. Exactly. NFL Europe. Yeah. If you out of market, you don't. Hey, Gate, Eagles fan from Oroville, California. Love your channel, bro. Hey, thank you, Sway. Appreciate that, bro. I'm awake, are you? What's good, bro? Brown, Smith, Watkins, Covey, and Odell. You think they're going to get Odell Beckham? I'm awake. Offensive line and running backs plus our tight ends. Yeah, man, we got a good-looking roster, bro. No doubt about it, man. We got guys that are going to be able to make some plays at the receiver position. There's no doubt about it, bro. I'm picking up what you're laying down, homie. I'm in on that program. I will definitely do that. What's up, Scoob-Doo? How you doing, bro? Gate, it looks good, man. You did a good job. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I'm trying. I got a bunch of shelves actually to put in here, so I gotta figure out something, guys. I don't know. Hang on. Let me see if I can't move it down just a tiny bit. You can see the shelves that are down below that too. So I got to eventually figure out some stuff to put on it. But it's nice because it locks me away kind of in the space. So it actually kind of feels like a proper, kind of like a proper actual studio. Like I even got my backlighting. I don't know if you guys can see this here. I'll move it away for a second, but I even have my backlighting. So it's kind of nice. So yeah, man, it's definitely it's a big improvement, guys. Big improvement. It helps out a lot. Jeremiah said, I got Sunday ticket, so I watched live, but it's triple the price. Yeah. I was shocked when I found out that they get live games too, guys. That kind of ticks me off a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really fair that they do and we don't. I have no clue why the NFL does that. I mean, well, I guess we do have a clue. They're trying to expand the outreach of everything, but still, it's not cool, right? I mean, that's kind of messed up. I think our defense is going to do a good job of giving our offense short fields by creating turnovers. I hope so, man. Hey, Ant, that'd be ideal, man. Show enough. What's good, bro? How you doing, man? Tito, what's good, buddy? How you doing, man? Do you think we play more man coverage? Whew. Yeah, Tito, I think that's a possibility just because of how low the percentage was last year. Because towards the end of the year, we started to pick up man coverage a little more. But, I mean, we were 70-30 zone, and I'm being quite polite with that 30% man last year. So I would anticipate that we're somewhere hovering around 30% on these outside corners because that's what we're really talking about. We're talking about Bradbury and Slay, being able to do that. So, yeah, man, I hope so. I really hope we're in for that because if not, it's going to get real hard to watch this stuff, man. Yeah, I usually buy a Sunday ticket as well. We are getting hosed big time. Yeah, man. It's these little workarounds help, man. 2020 said, man, I tried Europe and UK 2 or 3 years back, but canceled it because they didn't have every game. When Sky TV was showing a game live, it would be exclusive to Sky and was blocked from Game Pass. That's messed up, man. Yeah, that's messed up. They're doing that. But guys, hit me up. Like I said, guys, if you want to know how to gain access to games without paying money, there are ways. I just can't say it over live stream. But if you hit me up on Twitter, @HeiderSteve is my Twitter account. Hit me up on Twitter, guys. I'll tell you exactly how I get live games like that. AJ Smith said he misses the porch talks. I'm sure they'll happen again at some point. My guy Gay City, what's up, iShine? How you doing, bro? He said we should definitely get 11 wins this year. I'm hoping, bro. I'm hoping because I agree. We should be in double digits. By the way, I'm digging your setup, even though I like the bird chirps during your contents. Hey, man, some of those birds were annoying, iShine. I had one. My wife, she's a science teacher, so she knows all this weird facts about crazy crap. But iShine, she was telling me there's like one bird that was annoying with it. And she's like, no, it's the time of year. It's a mating call. I'm like, yo, my guy needs to find it. And come on, bro, he's killing me here. I can't record with this dude chirping like this. Facts at Daz, but I knew that when I first signed up. Said, so are you able to watch all the games? Yeah, Jeremiah, I didn't have any trouble last year. I was able to watch all of them. So, yeah, it was just like I'm saying, if you guys are already, here's my advice. If you're already going to sign up for NFL, now, mind you, it does cost money to get a VPN. So, look up VPN, look at the cost, see if that's something you want. VPNs give you a lot of stuff, gives you the security and protection to protect your information. But I didn't buy it to protect my information, guys. I'm just going to be honest. I bought it because I can log into Netflix and get different TV shows from around, the world, to be honest. If you log into like Ireland, to places like that, like, they'll have different TV shows on Netflix and stuff than what we get. So even shows that they pulled off of Netflix will be on other places. So, you can use it for stuff like that, but you got to look at the cost of the VPN. And then, I'm just saying, if you're already going to buy NFL Game Pass to see the all 22, it might be worth it to gain access to the live games. Now, some people are saying that if Sky TV has the games, that for some weird reason, NFL Europe will block you out if those games are being advertised there. However, if you hit me up on Twitter, I'll tell you how to get around that if that happens. Top 3 defense, maybe number 1. Things are looking scary. I mean, Davis and Dean, wow. Yeah, bro. Definitely. Preach said, what made you become an Eagle fan? Born into it, Preach. I'm from Newcastle, Delaware, just outside of Wilmington, Delaware. I grew up pretty much right off of 9 and 13, Route 9 and Route 13. And y'all are from Newcastle, the town of Newcastle. Obviously, there's Newcastle County, but I'm actually from the town of Newcastle. I grew up in Collins Park. I grew up about 20 miles outside of Philly. I was born into it, man. My guy Scoob Doo said, if you got a Fire Stick or Smart TV, they have apps where you can get that stuff for a certain price a month. Jeremiah said that bird was just looking for cat. Bro, it was annoying, man. That thing was just going off. I was like, oh, my God, man, this thing won't shut up. I laughed out loud. One of those times I was listening to you working on my truck in the garage, and I thought a bird flew inside. No cap, bro. Drew, you don't have Twitter or Instagram? Drew, hit me up on email. SM for Stephen Michael, smheitter, HEITTER. So smheitter at gmail.com. And I'll shoot you how you can pirate it. Preach it. Oh, so you black. That's funny, bro. Gate, I don't have Twitter. Do you have any other content? Yeah, guys, you can hit me up on Gmail. I think, hang on, let me make sure. I think I have a Gate City one. Hang on. Let me check and see, guys. You see all these different ones I keep. All right, so you can hit me up at, like I said, guys, smheitter, smheitter at gmail.com, or GCS. It's port, GCSPORT channel, CHANNEL at gmail.com. If you guys want, when I do the live stream, like when I get off the live stream, I'll post my email stuff for you guys. I'll post it down in the links. So that way you guys will have it. Mr. Walker, yes. Mr. Walker, making me wonder here, man. I got an uncle that has the same last name. And Preach said, you seem like a nice guy, but cerebral enough to make a bomb in your garage. I love you, dude. No, I'm not that, bro. No Ted Kaczynski, however you say his name. Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea, but I appreciate it. Bad Babylon said, you care if I message you on Twitter about it too? Yeah, guys, you can message you on Twitter, man. It's no problem. Spike, yeah, on Twitter, guys, it's just at Heider Steve. At Heider Steve. My last name is HEITTER. Aishan said, man, I wish the season started tomorrow. I'm ready to hit somebody. Yo, Aishan, when I was in the military, y'all remember those commercials where they used to do the, like, must be football season. They'd be like in the grocery store, like throwing like a ham or something, and they would be tackling people. Hey, man, when I was in the service, that was a brutal game because you would come down the ladder well that would lead to our berthing. It's like where we slept at. So you come down the ladder well, man, and you wouldn't be expecting it. And it'd be like 2 or 3 dudes would just yell out, must be football season. Bro, it was brutal, man. You had to be on alert. you had to be looking for it at any point. Gay, are you good with our current safety situation? What's up, Raheem? How you doing, man? I don't know, man. I mean, I really do like Marcus Epps. I do. I think he showed a little bit last year. I think Anthony Harris is respectable. I'm not going to call him good or great. I think he's respectable. I think he can get the job done. I would have loved to have added a Jesse Bates, even though the pay, the money, I didn't think it was going to happen. I would have loved to have added, was it Marcus Williams? I think we were chasing earlier in the year. We couldn't make that work with the money. He ended up going to Baltimore. I wouldn't mind getting Chuck Clark, to be honest. I wouldn't mind adding to that room, to be honest. But if we're going in with this, I mean, with the improvements we made in the secondary at corner, improvements we made to the linebacking core, hopefully they can hold up, man. Scoob-Doo said bet. Preach said I got you on Twitter under Gate City Sports. Slow-Mo Ewing, what's good, bro? Daz Deal said the email works for me, but I just have to keep reminding Xander to check my messages. I know he's busy, so I just remind him. Y'all talking about Jacob Media? Yeah, they got a lot of crazy stuff there, guys. Gate, I'm so looking forward to this season. I can't wait for this team looking good, bro. Hey, appreciate that, guys. I'm sorry. The reason I'm like sneaking my head around like that is I have the camera like I have to like sneak around and to read the comments. Show enough said, Gate, how do you feel about Nick giving Steichen the offense? We talked about this a little bit earlier, show. I think it's a smart idea personally. I know a lot of people, coaches in particular, head coaches don't like to give up play calling. They don't. But truth be told, it's so overrated. It really is. I've called plays before, show. Man, the head coach designs the offense. Like when you're calling plays, you're just looking at a play sheet. You know what I mean? You're looking at a play sheet, and then depending upon the situation, the circumstance, you're choosing between a certain grouping of plays. Every coach, every system is different. There could be a lot of different plays for a lot of different situations. Some are scaled down. Hard to say, you know what I mean? Sure enough, it's hard to say how Nick's looks, but to me, I'm not saying that some dudes aren't better at it than others, right? Because there's certainly a feel to the game, right? There's a feel to calling plays, no doubt about it. But I do think it's overrated. And I think that it's better served to get Nick Sirianni on the, the larger viewpoint of things, right? Okay, our game plan ain't working. Teams they're doing this to take things away. Hey, man, we need to come up with something on the fly. I want Nick on that. Nick needs to be on that, right? You got a young quarterback. Stay engaged with that young quarterback. Help him out. You know what I mean? Like, I do think that giving Nick the ability to be creative with the play design while letting Steichen get the feel of the game, the flow of the game, and call the plays, I think it's better for all coaches. I think it's the best thing for the team. William, what's up, bro? He said, what up, Gate? Been a long time, bro. Working a lot of overtime. Hey, man, get your money, bro. Get your money. I don't hate it, man. I appreciate you tuning in. You're trying to get on Still Show, Gate. I appreciate that, Jeremiah. NFC's beast. I like that. He said, I want to see AJ in the slot to take advantage of the mismatches. Yeah, 100%, bro. I'd like to see, if we're going to play Devontae Smith, I'd like to see him play a little bit in the slot as well. I don't want to put Devontae fully as a flanker, out there as, your kind of your field side receiver, because the further away you put somebody from the quarterback, you're going to have to really design that guy into the play design. So I would love to see him get a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more work from the slot too. So yeah, I mean, definitely, man. Preach Facts said, we already play a lot of zones, so I'm not completely uncomfortable with our safeties with the addition of Bradley at cornerback. Yeah, Bradley's it's a big signing, Preach. It's a big signing, man. Aishan said, could you see us converting one of these 12 cornerbacks into a safety possibility to take Harris's spot? I'm okay with Marcus Epps. Aishan, I laugh because it's a factual statement. But it sounds like if you were talking to anybody else, they'd probably be like, what are you talking 12? I'm like, you're right, we do. We got 99 quarters. I don't know if anyone fits the mold. I mean, the guy that comes to my mind is the young man that we got. He played at LSU. What is his name? Give me 1 second, guys. The young man we signed, he played at LSU. He was a good player, too, at LSU. He played a lot in the slot. They played him outside last year, though. That's the kind of the crazy thing. For whatever reason, sorry, guys, I'm underneath team. I'm trying to go to roster now. But he's one that I think would be a natural kind of movement there. I know a lot of people are probably thinking that the Eagles might do something like move Avonte Maddox. I mean, Avonte has the movement skills. He can do it. He can definitely play a post safety. But I don't know that they want to – who knows, man. They are signing a lot of these nickels. So I am a little suspicious with the amount of nickel corners they're bringing in. That's a tough one, guys. I really don't know off the top of my head if there's anyone that's a great fit to move out that way. It's hard to say. Like, Avonte Maddox has done it. We know that. Zach McPherson, I don't know if he's really suited to play that. He's got good movement skills, though, to be fair to Zach. He does. I mean, you wouldn't be impressed with his 40 time, but if you look at his splits and you look at his lateral drills, it was pretty good. I mean, he's got good movement skill. He's a better athlete than I think a lot of people realize. Sorry, guys, I'm still looking. Kerry Vincent Jr. I was like reading through the roster trying to find it, but Kerry Vincent Jr. I think is a guy that could potentially play a little safety, but hard to say, man. We'd have to see him in camp doing it. Can anyone who ain't hit the like button hit it up? We're 22 likes away from 100. Hey, appreciate you guys. Yeah, if you give me to 100 likes, guys, I'd love that, man. It'd be awesome. Facts at Jeremiah. Gate needs to be on Dan Cilio's show. I appreciate you guys. Irish Steve said, I'm still flying high with this past offseason, but with us losing a bunch of front office guys. Good point, Irish. It's a good point, man. I wonder if we see old Howie next year. Kind of the same when we lost Joe Douglas 3 years ago. That's a great point. I don't know. To be fair, Irish, I don't know. We have to see the dynamic at play. I think people have expressed some concern that you could see, some reverting to heavy analytics. Guys, I'm not anti-analytics. I don't want to give that standpoint off. You guys know my channel. You know my show. I stay up to date with the analytics. So I'm not anti-analytics by any stretch of the imagination, but you can go too far one way. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be careful with that. Spike said, are you worried about Jordan's weight? Mark Holmes feels that he's going to have issues due to limited OTA. He's still upset about our draft picks, of course. He's actually been losing some weight, Spike. I got to see that young man play, Jordan Davis. Man, that was going back some years, guys. I want to say it was right around 16 or so. I want to say 17 maybe. Hang on. Might have been around 17 I saw him play. It was like his junior or senior year. I saw him play. I think he might have played for our former backup quarterback's team. If I'm not mistaken. I think he was on that team out there in Charlotte. The guy that came in for Wentz when he got injured in the Seattle game. He coached out in Charlotte as a high school football coach. He was like the quarterback coach out there. I think Jordan Davis played on that team. But yeah, he's talented, man. He's very talented, Spike. I think he'll get his weight under control, but I do think it will hinder him in year one. I'm going to be honest, Spike. I mean, I think conditioning in the NFL is a different animal, right? So, I mean, he's going to have to uptick it from 20 plays a game. He's going to probably be around at minimum 35, you know what I mean? And probably more than that as the season goes on. Yvonne, what's good, buddy? He said, I said go sign Landon and start him and Epps. Landon Collins. Appreciate you guys. He said, JJ changed positions. What's up, Jimmy? How you doing, man? You're on the JJ at tight end train. Look, I don't want to berate JJ Arcega-Whiteside, man. He seems like a nice guy. I know some dudes that know him. They play down in South Carolina with him. They know JJ. He's a great guy. With that said, I don't know how that's going to translate. It's hard to say, Jimmy. I don't know how that's going to translate, man. Drew said, I can agree. My concern is if Epps gets hurt, that worries me. Yeah, true. Aishan, you think Gowan might switch positions? Hard to say, man. Tay's got good movement skills, too. Zach McPherson and Tay McGowan both put up some pretty impressive. If you look at their splits, right? If you look at just their 40 time, you're not going to be overly impressed, guys. But if you look at the splits, the 10 and 20-yard split, it tells more of the story. Jacoby Stevens or somebody like that. NFC's beast. Yeah, Josh Joby does have – he's got good arm reach. You're right there. He's pretty close in terms of the reach, arm reach. Josh Joby is to James Bradbury. Shonuff said, I'm super opposed to Maddox playing safety. You don't, I get it. You don't want to disrupt the chemistry. I get it, Shonuff. I agree with you. Preach, you think Goodrich might be moved to free safety potentially? Scoob said, a lot of route concepts with AJ and Smith on a twin set will be good. Also, with some motion, will be deadly. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I agree with you. Because Smith's going to give you a free release. There's no doubt about it. I'm sorry, not Smith. A.J. Brown's going to give you a free release. And if you're giving Devontae Smith free releases, ooh, man, you're in trouble. You're in trouble as a defense. I still have faith that Kayvon Wallace will be okay. Chachere. Yeah, Drew, you're talking Chachere. He is. I don't think he's ever really played safety, though, Drew. I went back and looked at his college stuff. I was trying to figure that one out, too, Drew. And I don't think he's ever really played extensively at safety. I think they just want to find a way of putting him on the roster because of how good he is at special teams. And he's not going to make it at corner. But, I'll give the guy a look. He's worth a shot. Sometimes you get lucky. Who would have thought Malcolm Jenkins would turn into what he became? You know what I mean? Malcolm Jenkins became like one of the better box safeties for quite some time. Thinking Josh Joby. For the Eagle fans that don't live in Philly, there's nothing like the experience of a Cowboy fan that lives and works in the city. They are everywhere, and they drive us crazy. This is Philadelphia. Joby from Alabama. Preach said, as long as we're drafting from Bama and Georgia, it's pretty hard to go wrong. Drew said, my cousin was a Cowboy fan. We converted him. Born and raised at West Oakland. Shonuff said, I hope that dude Reed Blankenship works out. Yeah, his Middle Tennessee State had an impressive defense, Shonuff. I was watching their film, and I was like, oh, wow, like that team could play D. They were pretty good. And Reed, to be fair, Reed's a big part of it. Got to see it, though, man. Lower level competition, Shonuff, you know how it works. Got to see it. Some of those guys translate, and they translate quickly, We'll see. I mean, Quentin Michael, to be fair, Quentin Michael was an undrafted rookie free agent, too. And he turned out to be one of the better players, that I remember really watching, in the, middle 2000s. Middle to late 2000s, I should say. Davis is around 325, 330, the perfect size, and plus he's going to lose more weight. Hopefully he stays around 325. It shouldn't probably go down too much more, but he is getting himself in pretty good shape, Yvonne. I agree. Yeah, I know he's not from LSU, but Joby could add like 5 to 10 pounds and be a big safety, in my opinion, from Bama, 6'3" or 6'2". Shout out WOL, the Gaunts. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to look over this freaking thing. Sweet. Would you rather had Jordan or Aleem McNeil? Ooh, Spike, you're putting me in a weird position, bro. Come on, Spike. I'm an NC State guy. You can't do that to me, man. Come on. Come on, Spike. It's Jordan Davis, man. Come on. Jordan Davis. Aleem McNeil's an athletic freak, too. And I think he would have been pretty good here. But Jordan Davis is a different level. There's not many dudes Jordan Davis size that move like that. And Aleem McNeil was a dude that played linebacker and running back a little bit in high school. He was playing out at Wake Forest. And yeah, he was pretty good, man. He was pretty good. They're both North Carolina guys. Difference is that Aleem played at NC State and Jordan went on to Georgia. Sorry, that Jordan and Georgia combination there. J-Jaw was taught to block by his mom. She would always block the sun for him with her umbrella. Well, he can block, so I guess she did her job, man. I am a little worried. I will say this, Jeremiah. I am worried about him as an inline blocker and pass protection. That concerns me a little bit because that's a lot different from blocking a corner on a running play, you know what I mean, or a screen. What's up, Cali Eagle fan? How you doing, buddy? Say, hey, Gate. I messaged you a long message on Twitter about my comments on my normal YouTube account. Not showing up for you on YouTube videos or the live streams. Check it out when you can. All right, I'll take a look at it, buddy. Let me see real quick. All right, Alec. I don't know what the heck happened. All right, man. When I get out of this live stream, Alec, I'll try to figure out what happened, man. I'll try to figure it out. Something's going on if it's not letting you comment. But let me check it out for you, bro. I'll figure it out. Yep, those are my two Tay Gowan or Josh Joby safety possibilities. Big Moose said, my guy Gate just checking in. Kinfolk. What's good, Big Moose? How you doing, bro? Davis is going to have a major impact on Barnett, Graham, and Sweat. Keep your eye on that one. He's going to make the entire defense better while getting sacks as they come. Hey, Miss Bergang, what's up? How you doing? She said, Gate City, a.k.a. Coach. How you doing, Bergang? Davis creates turnovers. Davis creates a problem on the offensive line. I can tell you that. Y'all said Big Seals is hating on the team. I don't always get an opportunity to watch his stuff, so I don't know what he said recently. But, man, tell Big Seals stop hating on the team. I haven't had a chance to watch his stuff recently, guys. Nothing personal. It's just, trying to build all this stuff for the live streams and for, the office. It's kind of taking up some time. I'm not too concerned about J-Jaw. I doubt he makes the roster. You're probably right. You're probably right about that, Jeremiah. He might be a practice squad guy they try to develop. Just really weird to say about JJ, but I can see him doing that. He says, when I say Joby is a safety, it would be more of a small nickel dime defense. Have him play a star, cover tight ends, or move to a deep half. I can see that. Sorry, guys. I go to click. It moves down. It's a pain, guys. Gay City, what do you think about possibly getting Robert Quinn for the right price? Definitely. He's still serviceable, in my opinion. Wouldn't mind another edge guy. I'm sorry, guys. I have no choice but to do that to Reed. Love him. I love his pass rush potential, man. You don't find many guys with 18 sacks. You know what I mean? Showing off it's a phenomenal year. And Robert Quinn has a tremendous get off in terms of getting off the line of scrimmage. I mean, base salary is about 12.8, and then he's got a $100,000 bonus of some sort. I want to say it's like a workout bonus. So it would cost you just under $13 million. That's a roadblock, but it's not I wouldn't say that it stops the Eagles per se. You know what I mean? Certainly they got to figure out, and I think it's more so would get you in 23 than 22. I think 22 is pretty easy to figure out, especially if you trade a guy like, say, Amalu. I think that would definitely free up enough space to where you'd be fine. But they're going to have to figure out some stuff with 23. If they did that, show enough, the only thing I could say is that they would probably have to do a Darius Slay situation to where they trade for him and then rework the contract as soon as he gets here. That's probably what I would think, man. Drew said, what's up, Miss Bergang 31? Jeremiah said, what up to? Hey, no problem, guys. No problem. Yeah, guys, let me know if it does that. Guys, there's a lot of stuff, man. It may just simply be I hit the wrong button. So if you got blocked out, it's probably because I hit the wrong button. I apologize. I'm not tech illiterate, but I do, I got a camera in my face and stuff, guys. It's pretty easy for me to hit something on an accident. I hope JJ doesn't make it. Yes, Joby at safety. Man, sorry guys, I'm trying to read fast, but it's like every time I go to click, it's pulling us down. Eagles talk from Delco. What's good, man? Sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure I get your comments up. I don't want anybody to lose out. Callie said, by the way, I forgot what level you said you coached at. Was it high school level or college? No, Callie, I never coached at college level. No, that's kind of tough to get into. I have done some scouting work for universities before, FCS universities, but I've never coached there. And to be a full-time on-staff scout for them, you have to be a member of the coaching staff. It's just the way it works at the college level, but they will hire you for advanced scouting, and you can do some regional scouting for them. Mostly high school, just like everybody, Callie. I started off coaching Pop Warner From there, became a middle school teacher, started coaching, doing middle school stuff, moved from there up to high school. So, I mean, I've been around a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, Callie, most of the things I know were taught to me by other people. I got really lucky to be around some really good minds, and I was willing to listen to what they had to say and then try to figure out, you know what I mean? Like try to figure out how I can take what they're telling me and then implement it into my own coaching style. I did it for about 10 years, man. And then I'm not going to sit here and tell you, Callie, that I don't miss it sometimes. I do. I really do. There are times I ride by a practice and I really want to stop. I do. I want to stop and I want to watch. But I also know the grind. I know the hustle. I had a lot of young guys that were coming in to, just finished playing a couple of years ago, didn't quite make it up to the college ranks. And I didn't want to be that guy that just hangs around too long coaching. We all know those guys that are, they're in their 60s still coaching high school ball. Some of them are renowned. I'm not trying to take shots. Some of them are like really good coaches. But, I wanted to give younger guys a chance to get in there and coach too. I still, honestly, like I got some friends that were hitting me up. They want me to, not football, they want me to coach baseball again with them. But I'll have to see. It's difficult to kind of do this as a side hustle. And then also, coach, it's a lot. Malaysia said, I missed the whole thing. Quick summary of your thoughts on Epps. What's up, Malaysia? So we talked earlier, and we were talking about run defense from safeties. And I was shocked to learn that Marcus Epps is the second highest graded run supporter from the safety position. Just a brief recap. Jimmy Ward was the highest graded, then Epps, then Antoine Winfield, Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, Minka Fitzpatrick, Kevin Byard from Tennessee, Landon Collins, Julian Blackman, Jordan Whitehead, Malik Hooker, and Ronnie Harrison rounded out your top 12. Jamal Adams finished 13th in run defense. They didn't grade him quite as high in terms of pass defense, pass coverage. But he wasn't horrible. He was still top 50. I think he finished off 40, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about the fact that when you filtered and you looked at passer rating, what quarterbacks put up against guys, we are replacing a guy that finished top 10. Rodney McLeod was a top 10 guy in terms of passer rating allowed. He was really good in coverage. So Marcus Epps does have some pretty big shoes to fill. But we talked about some of the underlying athleticism. We talked about how good he is as a player. The fact that, his 40 time won't blow you away. But if you look at the splits and then you look at his lateral movement abilities, this guy's a good athlete. He's a really good athlete. Not a long, rangy dude. I mean, he's got a 29.5-inch arm reach. So, I mean, he's not that type of player per se, but just good instincts, man. Gives it everything he's got. Which King of Agmar? What's good, buddy? Said we got to get the ball to Gainwell and let him do his thing. He can be a matchup nightmare low key. Someone said, what's up, miss? I thought your comment was interesting about Steichen being the play caller, not being too concerning because usually they have a set number of plays they're installed and it being dictated by down and distance. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I've called plays before. It's not, Callie, it's not as like hard as people think. Definitely there are people that are better at it than others. Some people just have a tremendous feel for the game. So they can just have a really good sense of what play will work in the situation. But the coaches have to draw up the right game plan. The install the offense has to be good if you're calling offensive plays. The game plan that you put up that week before for your opponent, that has to be on point, right? Your first couple of series are scripted. I mean, those are scripted plays you've been running in practice all week. Now, I will say not every play in that first 15 is necessarily a scripted play because depending on the situation, it can knock you out of what you wanted to do, and you might have to circle back around to that. But generally speaking, those are highly scripted plays. So, yeah, to me, I think people are just overrating it a little bit. But it's not their fault because the national media would have you think it's the biggest thing in the world to being a coach. So obviously you got to know how to call plays in the flow. Yeah, you got it. Exactly. The sequence of calls together. Yeah, you got it, man. You already know the perfect fit is Austin Bryant. Yeah, Ishan, that was a good comment, man. You definitely did your homework there. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a depth piece, someone that could be a depth piece, someone who has experience standing up and rushing, playing a rush linebacker role, he's been limited a lot by injuries, both at Clemson and then in the pros. But as a guy that has a lot of upside and is going to be a deep roster guy in year one in Philly, yeah, I wouldn't hate that one at all, Sean. I think that would be a really smart move if Detroit's trying to dump him. Nice setup. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, Callie. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If that ever happens, guys, hit me up on Twitter or something and let me know. J. John and Rager are stinkaholics. Ew, that sucks. Callie said, that's what's up. Greg Cosell always preaches about how he learned from all different people who pass football knowledge down to him. I've had people tell me to watch coaching clinics on YouTube too. Yeah, believe it or not, some of you guys may not like this name, Callie, but Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz has a lot of them. Jim Schwartz was one of the main people who used to contribute at these coaching clinics, and he's got a couple of them up on YouTube. He's, I know it's not popular here in Philly, but he is very knowledgeable. Coaching, it was, but it's a grind, Callie. I mean, if you're really thinking about getting involved in coaching, you're going to have to devote a lot of time. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of politics. I can tell you straightforward, Callie, I coached with guys that it wasn't because they were good at it, to be honest. S was really good coming downhill from deep. That isn't an easy task considering how far off our safeties are from the line of scrimmage. Got to be a reliable 100%, man. Sorry, guys. It's jumping all over. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I'm trying to catch up. That's why Marcus Williams was one of my favorite free agent targets, because I wanted someone who could patrol the back end and complement Epps' ability and run support. Yeah, as a post safety. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it looks like the Eagles had interest too, to be honest, man. I think JJ really makes the team as a third string tight end. Certainly not calling plays. JJ can be a sneaky piece. They love the guy. Who would you leave off though as a third tight end though? I'm awake because I think Calcaterra is going to make the team, or Calcaterra. I'm not too sure how you say that name. I think he's definitely going to make the team. And Jack Stahl is a really, really good pass pro. He's a very good pass pro tight end. A little more complex when you get into run blocking. I will say that the young man that was on the Eagles, we tried to put him through the practice squad. Then he got cleaned by the Colts, and then we signed him back last year. Can't remember his name, but watching his film, he's a pretty good run blocker from the tight end position. I think that's the only problem with JJ is it's not like he's like a tremendous receiving threat. So I don't know that like Calcaterra is going to be a way better receiving threat in my opinion from the tight end spots. I don't know. I mean, the only thing he's got going for him is that they did draft him, and it's hard for teams to move on. Some teams struggle with that. What's up, Elijah? How you doing? He said, that's good news. I'm not completely sure about overall success, but I feel like we're set up to have a top 5 rushing attack and a top 5 run defense at least. I hope so. I think it's reasonable to think that, man. The Eagles thought so too, as they said, we made a comparable offer. Yeah, to Marcus Williams before he signed with Bonner. Yeah, 100%, man. Elijah said, to me, that's the equivalent to having a top paint defense offense in the NBA. Top paint. I got you. I had to read that one twice, Elijah, but I got you. I know what you're saying. We just got to see how we'll do in the air. You caught me because you went from NFL to NBA on me real quick, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Who are some players who are backups that you see stepping up and being good rotational contributors? Great question. That's a great one, man, because the defensive line is the easiest one to go to be honest, because you're talking about tremendous pass rushers and guys like Milton Williams. Earlier in the stream, I talked about him playing from an underfront to where, that 3 technique on the weak side has got to win. If you ever really listen to Seth Joyner, he talks about how important that communication is between the 3 technique and that linebacker. Because in an underfront, that weak side linebacker has to scrape over the top of the defense. So he's got to win. He's got to win that matchup. He's got to win it. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he would be a good fit there. I would love to see when the opportunity is afforded to this player for him to produce. I'll say two guys. Tay Allen would make some sense. Like when you get those opportunities, can you show us something? You know what I mean? Like I didn't love the way that they played those prevent defenses and stuff when they put them in there, and it didn't give us a good showing of what these guys can or can't be. But Zach McPherson would be another guy, like, you know, getting those reps when you can get them on the field and producing. Backup, Kayvon Wallace, you know, I don't know if he's probably will be a backup, to be honest. Kayvon Wallace will be a guy I think has a lot to prove. Offensively, let's think of offense here, guys. Kenneth Gainwell. I think Kenneth Gainwell will be a backup to, you know, to Miles Sanders. And I think he can have a carved out niche inside of this offense. Calcaterra, the young man that had the concussions that played at Oklahoma, and I think he finished up at SMU. He's a guy I think is really interesting. And then I don't know what they're going to do at right guard. I don't know what they're going to do, Alec, at right guard. We'll have to see, man. Elijah said, I'm curious to see what adjustments we make on special teams. Field position hurt us a lot. Yeah, man, 1,000,000% there. Not even 1,000, 1,000,000%. You're right. We got crushed on that one. Always like Schwartz. Yeah, Schwartz was smart. He was a smart guy. I just didn't love some of the play calls at times, but I never doubted his knowledge base. Yeah, Schwartz was a good defensive coordinator, no doubt about it. My main gripe was he was sometimes too stubborn with the positions. I think he put the secondary in as he was more focused on the rush up front. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you put him on an island and then had them protect whether they were going to win or not. All they got to do is play smarter. I never understood how the safety gets burned from being 20 yards back from the line of scrimmage. Laugh out loud. He's reading the wrong thing. I love Calcaterra. That's what's happening, Benjamin. They're as a safety, you're cueing and reading route concepts, and they're guessing wrong, and they get caught. Dad said Calcaterra, man, yeah. Didn't retire. He would have been a second-round pick for sure. Yeah, the concussion thing, man. I hate it for the kid. I think he was handicapped by the personnel like JG was last year. Well, 2020 was pretty horrible, Jeremiah, with, you know, like everyone gets on me, man, because I made the, you know, like, man, how did you predict this guy was going to make the roster? How did you, you know, it's like, yeah, I predict dudes to make the roster, but I thought, like, I didn't think they would be playing and starting. You know what I mean? Like the way our secondary unfolded that year was, I mean, we were playing dudes that were not ready to be on an NFL field yet at corner. If we're going to be fair, some of that had to do with personnel choices. And Callie, I think you're getting into that. Yeah, Russell. Yeah, exactly. We let go of Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones that year. I thought we should have kept one of them. I think we should have kept one of them, Callie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rasul would have been a good fit for his own scheme. Off topic, but the WNBA is down to 2 cities getting a team, and Philly is one of them. It's about time we're going to go nuts cheering for another team. It is kind of odd that Philly wouldn't have already had one. I agree. Benjamin said, yo, Gay City, you think with our new additions we can play the wide 9 defense better this year? They brought in, what's his name? Crap. I can't think of his name. His dad used to coach for us, too. Crap. The dude, the guy from Tennessee that he was a coach in Tennessee, came over to Philly, and he really orchestrated the wide 9. Washburn. Jim Washburn, I believe was his name. Jim Washburn's son, I think, got moved down from personnel down into the coaching staff, I think. So potentially, Benjamin. I mean, I do think we have some guys like Hassan Riddick. I do think that Josh Sweat, you know, if Tyrone Jackson cracks the lineup a few times this year as a pass rusher, I think those guys operate better in space. So a 7, a wide 9, you know, you want to give them space to operate. Speaking of Zach McPherson, I think he made a nice pass breakup on Ward with the second team defense yesterday. Do you think he's better off in the slot or on the outside? I think he can play both. I think he wants to play outside. But if I'm being honest, Alec, I think his best move would be inside. I mean, if he wants like a long-term career where he could potentially start. Yeah, same. Douglas had good playmaking ability when he had his eyes on the ball. Yeah, Sidney unfortunately just didn't have that dog in him when you would like from a corner. Yeah, I thought Sidney was more of a man coverage guy. I think he fits better in man coverage systems personally. He's in Seattle, which, playing a lot of similar concepts. Well, we'll see. I mean, they do. They're kind of on, I don't know, third or fourth D coordinator now. But I think they have Norton there, right? Isn't Ken Norton their D coordinator now? Again, I believe Epps is going to show up. I hope so. Is it my? How do you say that? I don't want to mispronounce your name. How do you, if you can, type in the comment, tell me how to, like the inflection of your name. Chandon Sullivan. Is he on the roster, Jason? I'm not too sure he's on. Let me check real quick. I thought they moved him off the roster, Chandon Sullivan. Because he was the guy that played at Alabama previously, right? I didn't see his name listed anywhere. All right, guys, I'm going to look through real quick. Just go down to S's and see if I see his name. Yeah, I don't see him on the roster anymore. I have to look through the transaction wire, Jason, but he may have gotten cut with one of the other subsequent moves. Sorry, guys. So I'd have to look through that, man. Walsh. Yeah. Oh, I get it now. My bad, guys. Chandon Sullivan. Yeah, I get it now. I get what you were saying now. Jason, I get what you were saying now. I thought you were talking. We had the safety that he played at Alabama, and I believe he was an undrafted rookie free agent. And a lot of people were pretty high on him, but it never worked out. But yeah, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, he was the year that we played in the playoffs, and then ended up leaving, I think, right? Brooks' vision and going from 0 to 100 in a flash with the mixture of power and scat back is ridiculous. Miles is in trouble. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't mispronouncing it. Shannon's on the Vikings now. The Vikings are trying to load up then because they got a lot. What's up, Benjamin? He said, "Yo, Gate, you like Carson strong? He has a cannon." Before the draft process, I said honestly, I had him scouted. If we were just going off the film, I thought he had the most pro potential, to be honest. I'm concerned about that knee, though, Benjamin. I mean, he dropped for a reason, and it wasn't based upon his film. I heard two things about him, and this is going to be up to the coaching staff. The first thing I heard about him is that he's a cocky player that borders on being a little annoying. I don't know the man. I don't know the young man personally. It's not a personal shot. I'm just saying what's been reported out there. I don't know if that's true or not. And that's a matter of the coaches kind of working with that kind of personality, to be honest. And the other thing is the injury history. But in terms of throwing the ball, standing in the pocket and throwing a pretty football, the guy throws a nice ball. Callie said, I like Kennedy Brooks as an undrafted rookie free agent. Makes the team for sure. He does the little things as a runner well, like Matt Waldman's breakdown on him. Doesn't have the breakaway speed, but can get what's blocked. He's a one-cut runner. Yeah. A sincere review. What's up, buddy? Say, hey, Gate, what are your expectations for the season coming up? Double-digit wins, sincere review. I don't want to go on and say, something crazy. Oh, they're going to win 13 games. I hope. That's what my hope is. I hope we have that kind of special season. But they need to get double-digit wins. And we need to – this team offensively, from an offensive standpoint, it needs to be able to get into a rhythm and establish, itself when teams sell out for the box. We need to be able to throw the ball. That doesn't mean we need to just completely go away from the run, but we need, when teams load the box to stop the run, we need to be able to throw the ball. Defensively, Gannon's got a lot to prove. You know, I think Gannon had a legitimate reason to, you know, be a little down last year. I don't think the personnel was there personally, but that excuse not there this year. He's got to produce. He's got plenty of talent. He's been a stud for the Packers for the past few years. Yeah, it stinks when that happens, man. I mean, Poyer, you go back to Jordan Poyer with Buffalo, you know, he didn't make it here in Philly. And, man, we would love to have him right now. McPherson backing up Maddox is nice. Yeah. And getting what was blocked was what Jordan Howard had done. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, those one-cut runners, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for a while in Philly, they kind of got a nasty reputation because of the whole Chip Kelly crap. Remember, Chip Kelly was looking for those one-cut runners. So I think that may have soured some people just because of Chip. But to be fair, I think you're right. I think you're right that what made Jordan Howard really effective is that he just kind of took what was given to him. And if you got an offensive line that's giving you space to operate, if you take what they're giving you, you're going to be successful. Zach Wheeler's dealing. Brady greater than strong. That sounds like Wentz 2.0. I don't know if it's Carson Wentz level things. I don't know that he's like indifferent to teammates, Jeremiah. I don't want to bring that up. I don't know the young man personally, but what I heard come back down to me is that he's a very confident guy that can be viewed as being kind of cocky, to be honest. I mean, if you're good at that position, they tend to be. You know what I mean? Like, they tend to have a little chip on their shoulder. Carson's personality sounds oddly familiar to another Carson we know. Y'all are funny. I wasn't meaning to direct this that way. My bad, guys. That's not what I was trying to say, but yeah, I can see why that is. 13-14 wins. I'm awake. Said he's jumping in full head of steam, huh? What's up, Bird Gang 31? How you doing, bro? Jimmy Moreland, maybe Remo. I mean, he's brought in here, possibly. We'll have to see what happens in camp. I think there's a lot to shake out in the secondary, but I mean, Jimmy Moreland is a very good competitor, man. He's one of those guys that'll fight down the field, like, you know, sometimes to the detriment of a penalty, but nonetheless, man, he likes to get in and disrupt the routes. What do you think about Will Anderson, defensive end from Alabama? We need to do everything to get him in the draft next year. Crazy athlete, man. Yeah, he was the guy that had crazy, was like 18 sacks or something like that last year, guys. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's going to be a good ball player. I haven't broke down enough film to break down what he does good and what he needs to work on yet. I still have to break down his film, but I'm hoping to get a chance over the summer to kind of really take a look at him. Home field advantage. Oh my goodness, the link will be on fire. Yeah, no doubt. Benjamin said, "Yo, Gate, you think Gannon should blitz on third down like Jim Johnson did, no matter what play was called? He brought that heat on every third down." Yeah, I mean, there's time and place for it. I think he needs to be more aggressive than he was last year, Benjamin. I think there's no doubt to that, man. We only blitzed on 16% of plays, 31st overall. I think you got to get up to 20%, man. I do. I think they need to be up close to 20%. He said, "I don't get why we cut Poyer not even halfway through his rookie season, like we've held on to prospects with less promise for much longer. I get he was a 7th rounder, but didn't seem to get a fair shake." Yeah, you're right. He didn't. Do you think Gannon disguises coverage more this year? If we're going to be heavy zone, I do. Alex, if we're heavy zone, then I think he will. Now, if he tends to play a lot more man than we saw last year, then probably not so much. But they got to do something. Alex, because Yeah, like they teams were just easily defeating that coverage. With all the excitement, really would like to be at home opener. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, you're right, Drew. It will. We definitely need more forced turnovers this year. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, it's been 2.5 hours. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in with me on a Saturday night. Guys, thank you all so much, man. I got to hop off of here, man. I still got to go grab something to eat. It's like 9:30. I'm probably just going to grab something like to snack on. But I appreciate you guys, man. I'm going to try to do this once a week, sometime during the weekend. I'll try to get consistent with when I do it in terms of what day. But, you know, I'm going to definitely keep doing this, guys. I kind of miss doing the live streams, guys. I miss having the ability to talk to you guys like this, man. I do. Let me read a couple of your comments before I jump off, though, guys. Do you think we would have traded for A.J. Brown if Calvin Ridley didn't get suspended? No, Jason. I think Calvin Ridley would have been an Eagle, to be honest. So no, I don't think they would have. Yeah, no problem, guys. No problem, guys. Hey, no problem, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Hey, if you guys can on the way out, guys, if you can hit the like button, if you can hit the like button, I really do appreciate you guys. Hey, we get my guy I'm awake real quick. Keep your eye on the safety position. The rotation could be deadly if Gannon uses them right. We got some young wolves. Do your research. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you all so much, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream and video. I'll probably do a video tomorrow, guys. So, all right, y'all. Peace. I'm out.